right. Cheers.
My eyes are watering a little bit. Welcome back to another episode of Two Drunk Guys and a Football Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Skinny Domestic.
And Marcus the Hammer Mary.
And Marcus, who do we got with us today?
John Sarosi.
Well, today's episode, as you guys see, we have a guest. We're going to do our usual flashbacks of last week, injuries, game scores, all that good fun stuff. Of course, quarter two, all about John. Go dive into his football life and anything else we get into there. Then we got our bad betting. Didn't do so well this week. Fantasy talk, like always, and then preview of the upcoming week. So, Marcus, what do you got for news today?
First thing I have for news is Jamar Chase is hurt and out for a while, reports say. I don't know how long. That sucks right before the fantasy football playoffs, and obviously that team's still competitive, so they're trying to fight for a playoff spot in real football too.
Yeah, I saw there's talks that he might just miss this week and then tough it out to play the rest of the season, but who knows how that goes. Especially if they're fighting for a playoff spot at this point.
Yeah,
they're right there.
This is true. My next thing is Trevor Lawrence possible concussion.
Does he end up playing?
I don't know if it was confirmed a concussion or not. I don't know. Concussions are hard. I mean, look at Chris Olave earlier in the season, came back, had a concussion on Sunday. Really nasty hit, too, and then came back and played. I don't know if he will, because like last week, what's his nuts? The Houston quarterback didn't come back, so I don't.
Stroud.
CJ Stroud, yeah. I don't know if he will come back this week or not. Tyreek Hill had to sit out last week, so he was officially out.
He's playing.
And then the last... yeah, he'll probably play this week, but last week he was hurt. I'm sure he's still in there on the injury report. And then Keaton Mitchell basically got his leg destroyed.
That was Guru's. Oh, the video.
That was bad. That was just as bad as Alvin Kamara breaking the dude's leg on the sideline. Did you see that, John?
I did. You talking about the line judge or the guy holding the sticks?
Yeah, that was terrible. I thought Alvin Kamara was a dick after that.
I was watching.
Like he just broke his leg.
Well, I mean, it happens, you know. Like what is he supposed to slow down? Like I understand it happens, but
yeah,
the poor guy. Like you know, did he actually break his leg?
Oh yeah. Oh, he broke it for sure.
Yeah, it was his
poor guy. I mean,
it was his knee and his leg, I think.
Yeah,
he messed up his knee too.
I think so.
I thought it was like a little bit lower. It looked like exactly. So I don't know if you knew this, John, but once I was in high school, I broke my leg in half, and it looked like kind of similar to how it was.
What bone did you break?
I broke my tibia and my fibula.
Wow. Yeah,
and then I got compartment syndrome.
Man, that's rough.
Yep. But I was like looking at that, and I got flashbacks during that. I was like, that's craziness.
I was reading on Twitter right after that happened that was what, like 2 weeks ago, where Kamara came into.
Yeah, I think so. 2 or 3 weeks ago.
And somebody was like making comments. It's like, why not put somebody a little bit more athletic holding those sticks? You know, they're all like fat old guys. You know.
Yeah. They weren't gonna. It had to have been just like breaking a leg like that too.
Oh.
He had to have hit him just in the right spot.
Right.
Like he had to be extremely unlucky to where his leg folded underneath him, where he didn't just get hit and swept or something.
Right.
You got to feel bad for it too, because that's a serious injury too.
Yeah. Well, the other comments I was reading was like, well, why isn't that like an automated thing by now? Do we really need people standing there holding a flag? You know. And I think the conversation went into, well, that's the tradition of the game. That's always how it's been. And so just curious what you guys would feel about automating that process.
The line is never official.
I might be better.
It would be nicer to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, if they automated reffing, all that stuff, that'd be awesome because at least we wouldn't have such BS calls all the time.
Right.
You can't auto certain things.
I
PI,
agree.
judgment
Some
call,
yeah.
penalty, like personal foul, judgment call, like sure, if you're short of the line, you could
I
probably.
mean,
automate
most things
that.
could be judgment calls once it comes to like penalties, but like catching a ball or being in bounds. I'm sure that they have technology that they could see that pretty quick and decide.
Yeah.
Which the refs do a decent job.
If anything, they could open up the challenge to more. Maybe not. Be able to challenge a pass interference or challenge a intentional grounding or something.
Oh, for sure, yeah. They should do. I kind of am okay with them doing. It would slow the game down a ton, but with how bad reffing in NFL football has been this year, I just feel like it is an issue that probably needs to be addressed at this point.
Yeah,
I think there's always several scenarios each week, right?
Yeah.
I think one thing that they do though is you have the eyes in the sky, and like college football does it like pretty well. Is before a play, the next play's even snapped, they're radioing down to the officials to like stop and hey, we looked at this. This needs to be looked at. So then you're not having to challenge, even if it's like a penalty, not a penalty, those type of things. The NFL needs to do that more, especially when they have all these camera angles on everything, because it would make a huge difference on some of those. Like, is it a catch? Is it not a catch? They do a hurry up. You could blow the play dead right away and get it right.
Right.
I know there's always been bad calls. Like, obviously, like there's ones that you think of to come to your mind, like the Des Bryant catch against Green Bay on 4th and short, and they called that incomplete pass, or like the touchdown Seattle where it was picked and stuff like that. But it seems like every single year, the past couple of years, there's so many calls that literally make or break a game. And it's just, I don't know, it's annoying. Like, if you're going to win a game straight out. You don't need a ref to throw a PI call or just ignore a PI call just to throw a game or something. I don't know. It's just weird how the game's come to that. But part of that could be the league being softer a little bit. It's not the same as it was in 2011 compared to 23.
Well, when you get into this conversation, you also get into like, there's a human element to reffing. There always has been. If you automate or take that power out of their control, are you changing the game? So, or is there meant to be a little bit of human error in there?
Yeah. Could be. I mean, a lot of these games shouldn't come down to one call either.
Right. It wasn't the one call that, and everybody will say that when they lose on a bad call, they'll say, well, it wasn't the call that lost us the game. It was not picking up those 10 first downs, or failing to convert, interceptions or whatever, so.
Yeah, and the next play, the quarterback could throw a pick or fumble or throw a ton. You just don't know. Football's just so many variables in it.
Yeah, speaking of refs and judgment calls, the Steelers, what was he, linebacker, DB?
I think it was a DB.
Hit on Michael Pittman, got him suspended for the rest of the season, had a personal foul. I don't know if I agree with it.
I don't agree with it. I don't. I miss the days where like you're kind of taking the like physicality out of football. And I've said it for years. If you want people to be injured at a lower rate, take pads off. Like, you could play, like, we played backyard football forever. You can't hit as hard without pads as you can with pads. Pads are like having armor on. Like, you're going to shoot, put your head down. You're not going to put your head down if you don't have a helmet on. I can tell you that.
Right.
See, I
don't know.
I love Tom Brady. We were talking about it earlier, like today, Marcus, but he came out and basically said, like, stop putting all the blame on the defense and have quarterbacks be better. Like, Gardner Minshew had Michael
Yeah.
Pittman wide open, and he threw the ball so far ahead of him he had to go and dive for it instead of just catching it on the run. Well, if you don't throw the ball like that, then Michael Pittman doesn't have to dive and put his body in that position to where he's going to get hit. Like, no defensive players is going to be like, okay, let's let this guy catch the ball in the air and then land 2 or 3 yards downfield before he even gets touched. You're going to go and try to pop the ball loose, hit him, stop him right where he is.
Yeah.
Plus, there wasn't a whole lot of like head to head or like he didn't. I would say it was pretty much chest to chest, almost shoulder to shoulder, chest to chest. So it's like those. It's like head or neck area, but it was low. It was definitely lower. Just because it's a hard hit does not make it illegal or should be frowned upon.
Do you remember though, like back in the day, like someone like Brian Dawkins, who like literally would not be as effective in the NFL now as he was then because he can't play the way he was. Like having a physical safety or linebacker coming over the middle, I miss that part of football so much because you just like everything's just in offenses. Honestly, for how many calls go their way, and it's an offensive driven league. Offenses have sucked this year because defenses are still shutting teams down. I mean, we literally watched in 2023. We watched 2 games that were 3-0, or maybe it was 6-0. One of them, I can't remember. Didn't the
It was the Chargers.
I want to say the
6-0.
Chargers and Patriots game.
6-0.
Yeah, 6-0, and then the Vikings, Vikings Raiders game was 3-0. Like I don't know. It just you're taking away the physicality of football, and then the defenses eventually catch up to the offenses.
Yeah, and then
You're seeing that, so it's kind of like.
Then you get guys like Kareem Jackson getting suspended for the whole season because he hits hard.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. I want to see someone get lit up. That's part of football. Being scared to go over the middle because Ray Lewis is there is part of football.
Yeah,
It really is. I mean, it sucks because you are taking a risk, but that's part of. I feel like once you go in the NFL, you know that you're going to get hit. That's part of the risk. It's not like you're not playing a sport that isn't as physical. You take the expectation of getting your head, getting rocked.
But I will say some guys get hit harder than others. Like some guys know how to take a hit, how to avoid a hit, and some guys seem to have no clue.
Yeah. No,
So I
that's
think
true.
That's interesting as well. Just the way you get hit, or the way you spin at impact or whatever. A lot of the running backs, you'll see, they'll get hit, but they'll spin out of it, and they'll still go down, but they just won't take the brunt, of the shoulder pad or the helmet to the chest or whatever.
Yeah, they know how to do it. Yeah, that is an interesting concept to think about though too, because people know how to get hit and don't know how to get hit and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like the Brady's and the Brady's of the world have kind of perfected the getting hit and just doing that.
running back.
I bet they practice it. I bet quarterbacks practice how to twirl down.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
I'm
Which
sure.
would be hilarious to watch. A bunch of quarterbacks twirling around.
That's like Brady's like QB12 stuff where he's like, it's like he doesn't want to put on muscle like as much muscle. He's trying to work on like flexibility and stuff like that. So once he gets hit, like he takes it better. I feel like Brady took a hit really well because people said he didn't get hit. He still got sacked, and he had a 22, 23-year career.
Mm-hmm.
Like he took a lot of hits, but I don't know.
Who takes a
for
great
how
hit?
long he played.
Kirk Cousins takes a
Oh.
great hit.
Kirk Cousins does take a great hit. Once he got hurt, here's the thing. I took it for granted so much once he got hurt because like every single time I would see Kirk get his shit rocked on Sunday or Thursday or whenever he was playing because the Vikings line always sucks. He'd be running and he'd just get clocked. And you know what? He always got up and you just take it for granted. He has to be one of the toughest dudes in the league.
He's not that big, and
No.
I forget what game I was watching before he went out. I just felt bad for him because he was just getting leveled every time, and it's just like, full weight pressing you down into the turf. Like.
Oh yeah, he gets rocked, and he always gets up and like the thing about Kirk too is he's like he cracks me up because he's not like a guy, he doesn't cuss like he's like Brooks
Right.
showed me a shirt that they made of him on Etsy. Someone made one and it says all like the Kirk like cuss words and it's like freak,
Shucks.
shuck, dang, dang.
He's such a
Yeah,
good
like, I don't know.
suburban family man. All right, Pizza Ranch,
He is.
IV. They want
He
him.
shops at Kohl's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They do.
gets that cold
What's
cash.
impressive is, I think you saw. If you guys watch Quarterback, I'm sure on Netflix, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
His routine, man, from week to week is crazy.
Oh, I think Kirk's a psycho.
Yeah.
Like he literally like I think Kirk like is like 100% invested in everything he does, and he kind of I don't know, he's just different. I feel like a lot of people that changed a lot of people's opinion on Kirk Cousins though too,
Yeah.
because he works hard for it. It kind of reminds me of like a Brady regiment where like Brady's just constantly taking care of his body and stuff.
Right. I think if anything, Kirk came out of that series with more fans than he went into. I think
Oh,
people
1000%.
respected him, and so.
Oh, definitely.
I agree.
All right, getting into some scores.
All right, game, Guinea. Yeah.
The biggest, craziest score of the week. Raiders 63, Chargers 21. This happens 4 days after the Raiders put up 0 points. In that game, it was 42-0 at half, and the Chargers had a total of 6 turnovers. Sloppy football.
The Chargers are a dumpster fire. I'm glad that they fired Brandon Staley after that because he was just such a bad coach, man.
It was needed. It was needed about
The
a
amount
year
of
ago.
talent.
Should have happened after the playoff game last year, honestly.
Yeah, no, they were not very good. And then on top of that, like I get that Justin Herbert's hurt. That hurts your team a lot, but the fact that you can't even come in, like the Raiders are a beatable team. And a divisional rival, like the fact that you couldn't put any points, like losing the game's one thing, but getting smoked like that. And of course, I had Josh Jacobs who didn't play, which I wish he would have played because he would have went off. And then I played against Devontae Adams, who finally got his touchdown in like 25-point game. So they were going crazy.
Yeah,
Raiders defense had a good start, right?
Yeah, they had like 28 points.
Yeah. But
They went off.
I don't think anybody had him on their roster, at least in our league. If Brandon Staley gets a defensive coordinator job again, I feel sorry for that team. Like, he has not been good with great
The Eagles next DC.
No. We're already dealing with enough. Texans, Case Keenum led Texans. Win 19-16 against the Titans in overtime. Devin Singletary had 121 total rushing yards. Kind of shocked by that. I didn't expect it to come down to like how it did, I guess. Seemed like the Titans had the game for most of it.
The Titans were up. Yeah, they were up. Once I saw the final score, I watched part of it like on Red Zone and stuff like that. Case Keenum's just a winner.
Unless he plays the Eagles.
Except once it comes to I was about to say, unless it's Eagles in the NFC Championship game, then he isn't a winner. But other than that, yeah, that's a weird game with I don't know.
Did you guys see the Manning cast? Right?
Oh yeah, yep, I watched.
Did you see Keenum on the cast? Yeah.
Case Keenum
always good perspective, right?
Yeah, Marcus, you didn't watch it. You didn't watch it last night. Yeah, he was on the Manning cast last night.
No, I never watched the Manning cast. I like Peyton and Eli, but I prefer just not cutting in and out of the game. I know that's probably a very unpopular opinion.
I love the Manning cast. It's such a great time.
They're funny, but I feel like if I could like split it, I guess YouTube TV you can, and maybe I'll just start splitting the Manning cast and then put on the actual game so I can kind of like see them both. I think I could do that and have fun with that.
I don't think it lets you, but
Yeah.
No, it will.
I don't know. I just watch.
There's times when you kind of want them to shut up, you know.
Yeah.
There's times you kind of want them to shut up and just you want to hear the play on the field or what the ref is saying or whatever, and they're just jabbing. But they're funny. You gotta tip
They
your
are
cap.
really funny.
And
they're really, really intelligent about the game.
Right.
Next game.
Thought I shut this off.
Next game. Bengals 27, Vikings 24. Ty Chandler, new RB1.
You know what? Let's probably. Sorry, Alexander Madison. Anyone that I told that might be one of my worst calls of the offseason. I thought Alexander Madison was going to fit in that offense and flow. He just hasn't been good. He was hurt this week. Ty Chandler's looked good, but we're just tanking for Tua's brother.
Oh my goodness. He's not
We're tanking for something. I don't know. He'll be like in the second round. I bet he'll be like a second or third round pick. You think higher or lower?
I think lower. I don't think he's that good.
No. You're probably right.
Just draft.
I don't
trade
know
up
what
and
the
draft
Vikings
Bo
are
Nix.
doing.
Just trade up and draft Bo Nix.
The Vikings do what I said I was worried about. They're gonna limp into the playoffs, and we're gonna lose to the Eagles because the Eagles are gonna be the Eagles are probably gonna lose out, so it'll be like the 4th seed or something like that, 3rd seed.
I don't know. We might even be the 5th. I don't know.
But we'll either lose to whoever we play in the playoffs. We're just gonna get smoked. Probably the Lions. We'll get
It's a good
smoked by
chance.
the Lions.
It's
But
a good
we'll
chance
see.
to play 3 times in 4 weeks, you know?
Speaking of the
100%.
Lions,
Yeah, that is true.
they won 42-17 against the Broncos. That was a very good game. Sam Laporta.
Jared Goffman inside, man. I hate Sam Laporta.
Laporta's a dog, dude. Come on.
He is so good. But Skinny has him in every league. Every league that we have, Skinny has him.
How many
has,
points
like-
did he have this past week?
28.
28.
Ish.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns, 12.
Laporta is legit.
Yeah, he's breaking all kinds of, of course, franchise records, right, for the Lions, which is not saying a lot. But he's starting to get on the list of NFL records and all-time records, and so that's kind of exciting. As a
He's
Lions
had
fan.
for a tight end, it's hard for a tight end to have a really good rookie year. If there wasn't a CJ Stroud out there, I feel like he probably, because Puka kind of fell off a little bit once Cooper Kupp came back, I feel like he has a legitimate argument for Rookie of the Year because he's been solid.
Are they going to give Rookie of the Year to a tight end, though? I don't think so.
I mean,
It's going to be a quarterback or a running back or something.
if you take away CJ Stroud, though, like I feel like, okay, who's had more of an impact on that team? And I love Gibbs, but Gibbs or Laporta?
Laporta so far.
Yeah.
Gibbs is coming on now, though, and he's finally, I think he's the RB1 now.
You think he's over Monty?
I think he's going to be taking a bigger piece of the pie from here on
I
out.
like him over Monty. Monty is the epitome of like average running back to me, but like he's good and he's really good behind an offensive line. Like he's not going to lose you any game, but I just
Did I just hear
hate
you
Monty.
say David
I hate Monty,
Montgomery
you
is
know
good? You just said he's good? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I just heard those words.
You did, but-
Mr. I hate
Is
Iowa
Marcus
State
Lloyd-
running backs.
No, I love Brees Hall.
Now
You know
you
I
do.
love Brees Hall.
Now you do. You dogged on
I
Iowa
love
State.
Brees Hall since he came in.
And then you guys have an Iowa State running back on your own Vikings roster.
Yeah. What's his name? Keanu something.
Yeah, your kick returner, punt returner, whatever he is.
Yeah.
And then the
We
last
have the
game,
best Iowa State running
game that
back.
we have to talk about real quick, even though I don't want to discuss it because it still hurts me. Eagles 17, Seahawks 20.
Yep. What can I say? Jalen Hurts, most overrated quarterback in the league.
Dude, the
Was he
whole
sick?
yeah,
He was sick.
Flu-like symptoms, but not the flu, whatever that means. It's a dumpster fire. Everything's just a dumpster fire. Defense, offense, play call, just everything's a dumpster fire. And it's unfortunate.
Wait. Can you tell me who the 4 quarterbacks are that you guys lost to?
Me?
No, not you. Not
no,
you.
he wants me. No, we're not even going to bring it up because the next thing I'm going to say is we beat the Vikings. So it doesn't even matter. We're 10-4. We played that.
Skinny.
We just played the.
I'm a 49ers
hardest
fan. I'm a 49ers fan.
Marcus, you've been a Raiders, a Jets, Vikings, a Colts fan all season. Come on,
Maybe I need to be a Lions fan now.
dude. Why do you keep doing the thumbs up?
I don't know. Oh, me. Well, I was gonna tell you. Number 1, you guys got beat by Zach Wilson. Number 2, Brock Purdy. Number 3, Dakota Prescott, and number 4, Drew Lock.
Who did we beat though? We beat Dak, beat Mahomes, beat Allen, beat Kirk Cousins, who you think is so great. I can't think of all of our other wins, but we just played the 6 hardest games any team has on the schedule. We came out 3-3, even though we're a dumpster fire. I keep saying it's going to be okay. It's going to get better. It hasn't yet, but
Do you believe it though?
there's a small portion of me believing it. All right, like it's, dude. My biggest takeaway is as a defensive coordinator, there's 28 seconds left. Your team is up. You cannot allow a touchdown. And you go man-to-man coverage with a DB that's got beat the whole drive. Why are you not playing a cover 3, keeping everything in front of you? It doesn't make any sense. 3rd and 10, 22 seconds left. Make them throw short. All right.
Because it's Matt Patricia.
Yeah. We switched
That's
to
true.
him.
That is true.
We
Matt
switched to him
Patricia
thinking
is
it's going to be the
terrible.
answer, and then he's still not the answer. So I'm hoping maybe these next 3 games we win. We beat the piss out of the Giants. Make us feel good coming into the playoffs. I don't know, but we're going to the playoffs anyway, and I don't know what to expect anymore. It's just sad.
What you guys got left?
We have the Giants twice, and then let's see here. I don't know. I don't pay attention to our full schedule.
Giants, Commanders, Giants, or something
Giants, Cardinals, Giants. So,
like that. All right.
all 3 winnable games, but who knows at this rate?
If you guys lost out, I think I would lose it.
Go.
Oh, Skinny, you don't want to come to the podcast if you guys lose out.
It doesn't matter because we're going to the playoffs anyway. So at this point, it doesn't fucking matter. We can't get the number 1 seed unless the 49ers were to lose out and we were to win. We're most likely not going to win the division. So, I mean, at this point, it's just like 5-7. I mean, if you get the 7 and win, you're going to you'll play the 49ers right away. So maybe try to get the 4-5, I guess, or 5-6. But moving on. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm sad enough. Bad betting. Or I guess real quick, we got to cheers. End of the quarter per se. All right. Bad betting did not do well last week. We went 2-2. Well, I guess not too bad. 2-2. Currently 34-26 overall. This week, Marcus did help me make it this week, since last week on my own, I didn't do too well. So this week we currently have the Bills covering 10.5 against the Chargers. The Colts plus 1.5 against the Falcons. The Packers covering 4.5 against the Panthers. And then this one's a little bold, just the way everything's been, but Marcus liked it. The Eagles covering 11.5 against the Giants. So if you wanted to parlay all 10 of those...
You heard it here, folks.
I keep saying they need to have a statement game, and there's been no statement game. If you currently parlayed all 4 of those picks, you'd win roughly 114, give or take, because the odds are going to change by then. If anybody's been doing it, good luck, I guess. I've done it, and clearly it's not panning out too great. But that's bad betting. Very bad betting. And with that, as
Very
you guys
bad.
can see, John is a Lions fan. This is all about you, so you can talk about anything. Your sports background, football, just the Lions, whatever.
Yeah.
Go out.
Well, thank you. Yeah, lifelong Lions fan. I live in Des Moines now. Been here for, probably 11 or 12 years. But I grew up north of Detroit. And, Detroit sports they're statewide sports. Everybody follows the state teams. I was a big Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons fan growing up. Growing up, the Red Wings are always, my high school years, the Red Wings were dominant, right? They won like 3 Stanley Cups, or I think 3 Stanley Cups from the time I was in like a freshman until sophomore year in college. The Tigers have been to the World Series. They haven't won a World Series since '82, I believe, but the Tigers have been there. Lions, never been there. It's just this. It's this like anything that will go wrong or anything that could go wrong will go wrong for this franchise. Everything from bad decisions to, bad personnel choices, bad GMs, bad coaches, to ownership that's maybe a little bit too loyal and can't let go of their, front office and or coaching staff. So, but I've been a Lions fan my entire life, which is I'm 43 years old, and I've seen the Lions go to the playoffs twice. Once we didn't have a shot, and the other time it was in I think 94. We won 1 playoff game. And so, but you guys don't understand. Sitting there as Eagles fans, even as Vikings fans, Marcus, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, as a Vikings fan, you never make it to the top, but at least you see some good teams.
You make the playoffs, you get some 9-10 win seasons, Like, I can count the seasons that we've won over 8 games, and you can count them on one hand in the last 20 years, And so this is really different for us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Detroit is going bonkers, going apeshit. I don't know if you guys watched that game on Saturday, but the crowd was into it. The crowd was loud. Every report, every article I read is like the crowd takes, forces at least 1 or 2 false starts, takes the offense out of their game, the opposing offense, that is. But yeah, it's cool. It's Lions fans don't give a shit. We're like, we're gonna be obnoxious. We're gonna travel. We're gonna say whatever the fuck we're gonna say, because we've all been so tortured for so long. So that's the very sad reality of being a Lions fan.
It's one of those franchises too that it is interdivisional for us, but you got to kind of root for the Lions a little bit just because it's been so bad. And Dan Campbell's a great coach. What he's done.
He's built the most amazing culture. He and Brad Holmes is the GM. Dan Campbell's the coach, obviously. They got hired at the same time, but it wasn't like a package deal. It was not like a relationship that like the previous regime, Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn, they came from New England together, right? And they both made shitty decisions together, right? This was the Lions taking a different approach. They actually hired consultants and folks around the organization to make, a good hire at GM and a good hire at coach, and then put them together, and it's been a beautiful marriage. But I like Dan because he's about toughness. He's about giving it everything you got. He's about doing the little shit. He's about team. All the things that everybody wants to talk about, and a lot of coaches try to do, but he's actually doing it. I think first year they were 3-14. Second year they were 8-9 or 9-8. Nearly missed the playoffs. If you remember, we beat Green Bay in Green Bay on the last game of the year to keep them out of the playoffs, which was freaking sweet. Yeah. And then this year has been this year. You guys have seen this year, so they're heading in the right direction. Brad Holmes is a draft wizard. He pulled out everybody after this last draft, the 2022 draft. Questioned whether taking a running back at 12 and Gibbs was a good call. Whether taking a tight end at 34, trading back, take a tight end at 34 was a good call, and that turned out to be Sam Laporta. Those both look like beautiful calls right now. And somewhere in between, you got Jack Campbell, who's been a little bit slower to develop, but there's no question that guy's a starter in the NFL for 12 years, 10 years. So, I think in summary, the Lions are a tortured franchise. We're finally tasting some success, and the fans will let you know about it. If you ask, or even if you don't ask them, they're gonna let you know about it. So,
yeah, it's great for the Eagles. So, growing up, did you play any sports?
I did. I did not play football. I played soccer and golf, and my high school in Michigan had a ski team, and I was a downhill racer in skiing. I just didn't. I've always respected the game of football, but I was always undersized. I never really, my parents didn't really come from a football background, so I didn't really, get the opportunity to play football. But doing it all over, I might have gone out, even if I was just a special teams player or whatever, like a little 5'0", little wedge breaker or something. So
it's like Skinny's brother-in-law.
Yeah, my brother-in-law is like 5'5", and one day the kid was talking about going to the NFL, and I was like, "Kid, I hate to break it to you, but probably not gonna happen." Felt bad, but had to be realistic. Had to set realistic expectations for him.
Yeah,
you're a dream breaker, Skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so you said...
So who was your favorite?
Hold on, Marcus, hold on. He said he's a golfer.
No, I'm just curious, sort of...
All right. So you're a golfer. Are you, actually good?
I can't tell if my audio...
Or you just do it for fun? Like, get drunk and then go golf?
Skinny, you're breaking up. He's breaking up a little bit.
Am I good now?
It's a good question. I think I got the gist of it. I'm a decent golfer, but there is also the aspect of going out and having fun and drinking beers, right? It's almost two separate things, right? I mean, it's not that when you're playing competitive, you don't have any beers. It's just when you're going out for fun, you have a shit ton of beers, and when you're playing competitive, you might have a few, that type of thing. So, I'm probably about a 10 handicap. If that means anything to you guys.
Yeah, it does. I like to golf.
No, not a great golfer.
I'm not great, but I'm great at drinking beers. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus is probably the best golfer I know. Honestly, uses his driver for everything. Does not like to switch clubs. It's great.
Get out of here. Very talented, John. Very talented.
Marcus, do you do driver off the deck? if you know what that means.
I do driver out the whole thing. I just am that talented. I have my 5, and we're good to go.
Mm-hmm. So you have your favorite clubs, is what you're saying.
Yep, that's all I do.
Yeah.
We rolled up to
they
the
always try. I piss them off every single time.
we rolled up to the Granger par 3 course, and this man breaks out his driver. I'm like, Marcus, you're gonna kill somebody. First off,
Gotta have fun.
If you boil golf down to like a couple sentences, it's like the best part about golf is hanging out with your buddies and drinking beers for 4 hours. Like, that's it. Maybe 5 if you stretch it out right, you know? So I don't know how anybody in the world wouldn't golf, because even if you suck, you get to go spend 5 hours with your buddies playing, you know, outside, drinking beer in the summer, right?
yeah, Mister, I will go golfing with you at least once this year. Didn't go with me at all. Terrible, Marcus.
Sorry. I will most definitely drive the golf cart. I'll take you wherever we need to. I'll drink a couple beers. I'll be fine.
Fuck 'em, Skinny. We'll go golfing.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
There
I'll
you
lose
go.
all my balls, but I'll drink the most beer. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. You're still better than Alonzo, though.
Yeah, that's true.
John, who's your favorite NFL player growing up?
So I was thinking about that, and it's obviously going to be a Lion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And loved Barry. Who doesn't, right? But Barry, I was still a little bit young. You know, Barry played in the 90s. And I think I have more memories of Calvin Johnson. And so I think it's Calvin Johnson.
He was a freak.
He was. Like A.J. Brown, but a little bit taller maybe. Maybe a little bit fat. I don't know if he's any faster. But
Definitely has a better catch
Calvin
radius,
was-
I can tell you that.
yeah, longer arms maybe. That was it.
I just remember, so I started watching football really, really hardcore, probably around peak Calvin Johnson. So I really wasn't into football. My family isn't a football family at all either. So I didn't really get into football till I was in 7th grade. So I want to say that was 2000, maybe 2010, 2000, probably 2010-ish.
Yeah.
So I was watching, AP tearing his ACL, Calvin Johnson doing his thing. But the Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson duo has to be top 10 of all time, though. That was crazy what they did together.
You know, there's some crazy stats out there. Stafford's been the quarterback for 3 different receiving, he was Calvin Johnson's quarterback when he broke the receiving record, the yards record. He was Cooper Kupp's when he did it in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And then something there was some other stat in there, and it's here's Matt Stafford, who's a good quarterback, and I'm glad he got his ring. But Stafford's not Tom Brady, And so it was just kind of interesting to see, and I don't know, it's a big debate. I don't think Stafford's probably a Hall of Famer. But
Ooh.
no, he's got 1 ring. His nickname in Detroit was always Pat Statford. So he pats his
Pat Stafford.
Yeah.
That's funny.
He would
So,
throw
okay.
5,000 yards, but in 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns or 35 touchdowns, and they wouldn't make the playoffs. So it's
Yeah. Well, once you're always behind, it's a Jameis Winston thing where you're always throwing the ball.
yeah.
So question then. Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford?
So I like Jared Goff, the guy. I like Stafford's arm better, but I don't know. That's a really good. I think they're very, very different quarterbacks, but they give you similar results. They just go about it in a different way. They're both going to make some really bad decisions. They're They're both going to make some ugly interceptions. They're both going to make some great throws that leave you like, wow. Stafford's got the way better arm, no question. I think Goff is, and Stafford's tougher. Stafford's a gridiron. Stafford's an Iron Man.
Yeah.
But they're both pretty durable. I don't know. That's a really good question. I'd say Goff because Stafford never got us anywhere, and we're at least making the playoffs this year. We'll see if we can figure out a way to let this division slip away. But
if you guys lose the division, John, I swear, don't let us win. You're hearing that from Vikesman. Don't let us win. We need a quarterback. We're gonna probably re-sign Kirk, but we need something for the future. So a good draft pick at least.
Are you gonna re-sign Kirk? I don't know, man.
Yeah, 100%. I think, in my opinion, I think that seals it. Kirk will be a Minnesota Viking next year. The reason I say that, he's cheaper. People are going to be worried about the injury, and I think that Kirk Cousins. I'm a big Kirk Cousins fan. I think people are way too hard on him. I feel like I've watched a lot of football for the Vikings. I've watched a lot of bad quarterback play. I mean, I watched Case Keenum have a breakout year. I was a big Teddy Bridgewater guy.
Yeah.
But I saw Sam Bradford, who I hated. I saw Christian Ponder, who I just despised. I mean, I watched a lot of different quarterbacks. Donovan McNabb, Brett Favre. Who else? I don't know. I saw Sean Hill win us a game. Ex-Lion, too, Sean Hill.
Oh, yeah.
I watched a lot of quarterback play, and I feel like Kirk's been the best quarterback, and I don't think that we've lost because of Kirk. I think he's actually been, in my opinion, a top 10 quarterback since he's been in Minnesota. Even really once he was once they were the Redskins.
Yeah.
Washington. So
what deal do you think he gets offered from the Vikings?
I think 1 to 2 year. I say 1 year. I say $30 million a year. I think $30 million a year, like what he got once people were like, "Oh, highest paid quarterback." I think that's pretty decent bargain right now for quarterback. Wouldn't you say, Skinny?
Well, yeah. When Daniel Jones is going to be making
like 50.
Yeah, when Daniel Jones is going to be making 40, and you're going to be making less than that, that's 100% of a deal. You could make less money than that.
Yeah.
And it's only going to. The thing is the cap space, it just continues to get higher. So we're going to be seeing quarterbacks pretty soon here in the next couple of years pushing $60 million a year, depending on the cap. I know it's supposed to increase again this next year. So
yeah, there's a lot of talk about that in Detroit. Like, it was all extend Goff until the last 3 or 4 games, and then it's like, whoa. He's fumbled 4 times in 3 games, and then it's like, pump the brakes on that. But there's a lot of talk around. It makes financial sense to lock somebody up now versus waiting till the salary cap because it's like what, a 17 quarterback is like a 17%, supposed to be like a 17% hit to the cap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to pay more than 17, something like that.
And with how things are going with Jared Goff, like if you guys were losing still, understandable. But, like, you look at the quarterback picture, there's not a lot of good quarterbacks available. Don't settle. I know you guys drafted Hendon Hooker, who injury, so he hasn't really done anything, even practice squad or,
I like Hendon Hooker, though.
Yeah.
I think that was the steal of the draft.
But he's not going to come in right away and start, type thing. Like,
No.
You get Goff for another 3 years, should be fine.
And he's so young. Goff isn't even 30 yet, is he? I think he's like 28, 29.
He's not 30. I think he turns 30 in the offseason. Mark. But Hooker, like if you got Hooker on a 4-year deal, right? Mm-hmm. Hooker's going to be 30 when he's done with that deal.
Yeah, so Hooker's old. Yeah,
he was 26 coming in. So I mean, I see them doing maybe a 2-year with like a fake 3rd year type of thing with Goff. And if Hooker overtakes him next year, or if Goff gets hurt next year, then at least you're only paying him for like 1 more year of dead money. But
I could see Goff signing for $25-30 mil a year too. Because it's
Yeah.
kind of in that. I think Kirk's better, but I think that with Kirk being hurt, it kind of takes away his price tag. Because I could see Kirk being like a 40 mil a year quarterback without the injury.
If Daniel Jones is $40, literally every other quarterback
Yeah.
should be worth more than that. That's all. Like Daniel Jones is like
But Daniel Jones, that's the worst. I remember once I signed him to that, and I was like, "Are you guys smoking crack?" But like that was a terrible signing. But at least Daniel Jones is like 20, 25, 26. Like he's pretty young for a quarterback. I guess like Kirk Cousins is like 34, 35. Like he's getting up there in age. I mean, granted, quarterbacks like Brady and I remember once Favre made it to 40, and people were like, "This is insane." And Favre looked like he was like 77 years old at 40 years old. He was just all gray and like all beat up and stuff. But like Brady played to 45. I feel like since the game's gotten so much, it's protected the quarterbacks so much. I feel like these quarterbacks can play into their 40s if they want to.
Kirk's got one solid contract left in him, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
all right, John. Gotta ask it. I ask every guest this. I know you didn't play football, and I guess I don't know what your athletic prime was, but think about that time frame. You have 10 rushing attempts with, we're going to go last year's Eagles offensive line because, everything's been questionable. And then the 49ers defense, last year, this year's, whatever. You have 10 attempts to run the ball. How many yards do you think you could actually get?
Positive yards?
Just what do you think? After 10 attempts, how many yards do you think you have?
I don't know. I'm pretty slow. I will say that. I'm pretty slow in a flat out run. I don't know, 3 or 4. I honestly, like 3 or 4 total on a 10 snap.
Hey, that's realistic, Marcus.
What's the common answer?
15 or less.
Nobody's getting a first down, right?
Marcus said he'd get 30 total
30.
yards.
I'm not the most ambitious.
30?
So someone there scoring.
This guy thinks he'd average 3 yards a carry, meeting Fred Warner in the A or B gap.
I'm lowering my shoulder. I'm going head to head. I'm doing whatever
Marcus,
I got to
you're
do.
lowering your shoulder.
I'm literally riding behind Jason Kelsey the whole time.
You're going to run down the A gap where there's 340-pound men just waiting to land on top of you. You're not getting 3 yards in that. You'd have to hit at least the B gap, but at the B gap, you're gonna meet Fred Warner. Like Fred Warner's gonna come and kill you. There's no way you get 3 yards on Fred Warner.
Yeah,
3 yards of carry behind Jason Kelsey. Behind Jason Kelsey, you heard it here first.
No way.
I'm literally gonna hide behind him.
I'm literally bigger than Jason Kelsey, and I only would get 6 yards, maybe total. I have the length. I try my hardest to fall forward. That's as best as I can do with
yeah.
Oh, I could do the same thing.
No, you couldn't.
You just get there and you dive. You just dive. You hold.
No.
You just dive.
If you're not diving for 30 total yards,
I'm gonna try. I'll do my best.
He thinks he's gonna tush push it like Jalen Hurts and get 3 yards every tush push. Is that what it is?
Right.
Oh my god.
Here's the thing, Skinny. If people don't want it, they won't get it. If I want it, I'm gonna get it.
All right. Well, you can think that.
Wait, one last question.
Okay.
One last question. I want to ask John. John, who is your least favorite Lion of all time?
It's a really good. I mean, there's a bunch.
I figured there would be. I figured there'd be a lot of.
It can be a coach too if you want. Doesn't have to be a player. Because I said a coach for mine.
Yeah.
If it's a coach, it's Matt Patricia for sure. If it's a player, I mean, Joey Harrington was really likable. He was a nice guy, but he just sucked.
You guys wasted. Didn't you guys draft him with the first round too?
Yeah, he
Joey
was like,
Harrington was. The quarterback out of Oregon, right?
Yeah. He was like second or third overall.
Yeah.
Maybe fourth. Gosh, least favorite. Actually, Eric Ebron is up there. You remember him?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tight end.
Everything Sam Laporta. Everything he wanted to be Sam Laporta, but just couldn't make it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not throwing this in the dislike category, but I liked Hawkinson. But the knock on Hawkinson, and the reason I didn't love Hawkinson, is he never got any yards after the catch. He always catches the ball and falls down or jumps out of bounds. You know, it's like you watch Hawkinson side by side with Laporta. Laporta breaks a tackle and gets 5 more yards. Hawkinson gets hit like around the ankles and he can't step out of it, you know, or he jumps out of bounds. But I did like Hawkinson.
I thought Hawkinson was kind of, to me, well, once he was in Detroit, I feel like he was very injury prone.
Yeah.
He's been good for Minnesota.
Yeah. He's been better with you guys.
But he was also, like, for the longest time, he was your guys' number one target.
Yeah. I mean, looking backwards, that was a great deal for Detroit. We got picks, we didn't have to pay him, and we got a better tight end in the next draft. You know?
True. Yeah.
Arguably better. I don't know. We'll see.
I would agree. I think Sam Laporta, like, after this year, probably has to be, in my opinion, a top 3 tight end.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's going to make the Pro Bowl his rookie year, right? You would think.
He should.
Right?
He'd be a snub if he didn't. I like I said, if it wasn't for C.J. Stroud, I think he would be the rookie of the year. He deserves it because he's just been so good. He's honestly eaten into Amon-Ra because Amon-Ra used to just be someone that just got 1,000 targets a year. You know, every single drive he was targeted like 5 times. Like he's eaten into that, and he's a legitimate like target for the Lions.
Well, those two are the over the middle option, you know, and those two are your guys that move the chains, you know. So,
100%.
But I just, you know, I did like Hawkinson. I don't want to make it seem like I'm trashing him, but you know, I think all the way around in retrospect, you know, hindsight's always 20/20. But you know, I like what the Lions did with tight end, you know, in that situation. So.
I agree.
Yeah.
Ready, Skinny?
Cheers. Oh, was I supposed to slam it?
You don't have to. I had like, oh hell yeah! I had like hardly anything left, so I just killed it.
What's the record for Jinx for guest, Skinny?
Six
Is it
drinks.
6?
So if you can beat 6 drinks,
If
for
you
a guest,
can get
I could have if I'd have known that. I only brought 4 up, and I only got 4 up to the computer.
Well, all right. Let's get into fantasy. Moving on into fantasy. John, I know you said you didn't play this year. You did some like more friendly things or family stuff. Marcus and I are in 3 leagues together. We went 2-2-1 against each other. He's currently moving on to the playoffs in one of them. Yeah,
it was such bullshit, John. Once we tied, I tied because Jordan Love threw 2 picks. 2 picks in the game against the Raiders. I was so pissed.
I was asleep.
I mean, that happened. First picks.
It does. But me and Skinny, I feel like, especially in fantasy, are always like fantasy rivals because we've been in leagues forever together. Like we played even before we did the podcast. Like we would call each other like, I don't know, any fantasy controversy, anything about fantasy, we'd always be like, oh no, this isn't like this. So we've become fantasy rivals, and I take pride on beating Skinny.
It's kind of one of the reasons why we started the podcast is because of like our fantasy. Like,
yeah,
is one of the big ones.
Yeah, we're very big fantasy.
What were you doing starting Jordan Love?
John, you got to see this. Like, you got to see this league. It is insane. So it's 2 quarterbacks,
Ah,
3 flexes.
gotcha.
Or no, is it 2 flexes? It's 2 flexes.
2 flexes.
2 or
3
3
wide
flexes?
receivers.
2 flexes. 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, tight end, and no kickers, no punter. Or no kicker, no defense, anything like that. So we did an auction draft. You know what that is?
Yeah.
So we did an auction draft. It was a great time. We actually did it on the podcast. It was one of our first official episodes, and we just I'm always going to keep my league auction draft because it was a really good time. But I did not spend any money on quarterback. I took Baker Mayfield and Jordan Love, and then I also had what's his name, Anthony Richardson. And I was on cloud 9. Like, we were doing really well. But then Anthony Richardson got hurt. So I've had to literally start Baker Mayfield and Jordan Love for the whole season. And it's worked out decently. I just beat Skinny in the playoff game. My team is it's okay. I feel like it's a very consistent team. It's not a team that peaks out very much, though. So
Yeah.
I got Gibbs. I got Amon Ra. I have Travis Kelce, who's been a bust. I have Puka Nakua, who I got off of waivers, who's been pretty solid for what it is. But it's just, I don't know. It's a fun league, but it's a really hard league because everyone got. Oh, it's 2 starting quarterback league, so everyone got screwed on quarterback. Skinny took Gardner Minshew for me because I dropped him because Anthony Richardson. So then he's like, I'll trade you Gardner Minshew for I think it was Puka Nakua or something like that. I was like, no, screw you. I'm just gonna roll with Baker Mayfield and Gardner Minshew.
The 2 quarterback league
Baker Mayfield and Jordan Love
has been so great for me this year. One guy didn't draft quarterbacks, so at the end of the draft, his starting quarterbacks were auto drafted for him. It was Tom Brady and some other guy, and I was like, all right, I have Jared Goff and Jimmy G, Mac Jones, and some other quarterback. So I traded him Jared Goff and Jimmy G for Bijan Robinson. I was like, that seems fair. You needed 2 actual quarterbacks, and did that. Then another guy, I at one point, one of my quarterbacks was on IR, so I had 5 quarterbacks on my roster because no one was picking these people up in a 2 quarterback league. It didn't make any sense. So I was finessing people with the extra quarterbacks to give. That kind of saved me. That was hilarious. So 2 quarterback leagues is so fun.
Oh, it's been awful, John. It's been awful. It's been fun. Go ahead.
What are the point totals in a good matchup? Is it 200 to 200?
No, it's probably I would say a good matchup 140 to 137. It's typical. It's not. It's really honestly, it's not as high as points as, or it's about even as what your league is, Skinny.
Yeah, because we dropped the kicker.
Is it PPR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way to go.
It's PPR. It's funny because we're gonna do. I'm trying to convince Skinny. I think we're gonna do it next year. We're gonna do a dynasty league, not on ESPN but on Sleeper. But I might have a couple positions open for my ESPN league if you want to join, or dynasty, whatever you want.
Well, talk to me in August and see how I'm feeling in August, and then we'll go.
That's the hard part about it, is finding it. But yeah, it's been a fun league. It's been different. I played in Skinny's league since
6 years now, but you were in it a year or 2 before too. So
yeah, so
about
2015, 2016-ish. Yeah, so Kirk Cousins was still on the Redskins at the time.
Answer this for me though. When you draft, you obviously draft live online, right? But part of the cool thing about the old school fantasy leagues is everybody got together and you drafted in a room. So whether or not everyone's on their own laptop or you're doing a paper draft or whatever, you at least get to know some of the other guys, and then you've got some vehicles to talk shit to them, right? If I join your league, right, and I've never met 8 of the 9 guys or whatever, it's gonna be hard for that. It's gonna be hard for people to talk shit to me. It's gonna be hard for me to talk shit to other people, So.
Oh, 1,000%.
I told you we need to do.
Part.
We want to do a live draft, but
Go ahead.
dude, a live auction draft is such a bitch. But see, we do a live.
You can't do that.
We do a live draft for my draft. We have 4 guys that live out of state, so they like call in or whatever. But everybody else shows up. Some of them bring their significant others, and we have a blast doing a draft. That takes 4.5 hours.
So the first
there.
Yeah, at Skinny's there's kids there.
Yeah, I have
Kids running around the draft.
Yeah, I have 3 kids myself. I mean, I'm not sending them off anywhere. It's like, all right. One of the punishments I want to do is the loser has to be handcuffed or whatever to one of my children during the draft. It would be fucking hilarious. The inconvenience it would bring. Because no kid wants to sit there for 3.5 to 4.5 hours. Like, it would be hilarious to do.
What's in it for the kid?
I just got to load them up on fucking sugar and they'll be happy. I don't know. I'll figure something out. They're young enough to be like, oh, ice cream? Hell yeah. Let me bounce off the walls.
Yeah. Unlimited skill.
Yeah, I do. So my first year of my league that I created, we did do in-person draft, and that was fine. It was fun. I just want to. So I've been in Skinnies for so long. I kind of wanted to do something that kind of sets me apart from his, because we have some people that are in both leagues and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Let's do an auction, and I had a great time. I think Skinny had a good time doing it too. It was a long time, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do an in-person auction though, because it took 3 hours on the app. I don't know what it would take. It would take like a half a day.
Well, the other one too is people don't pay attention. Like, you set $200 limits. ESPN tracks that shit for you. You do it in person, there's going to be bastards that aren't keeping track of their money. And,
oh god!
Like,
people are going to spend too much money, and
yeah. So
no, I think you do it online. You're just all in the same room.
Oh yeah,
so you all got your own computer. Mm-hmm. You're just, you know what I mean. So it's the same speed as the virtual draft. It's just you're all in the same room. You can kind of have beers and talk shit between.
Marcus.
Right?
Take notes. Take notes. Do that next year. We won't do it live. We won't do it live on the pod.
We got to keep it on the pod though, because that's what's awesome about it. It's like sitting there and like laughing and having a good time. I think like that time we drank like 10, 11 beers during that, and then I had people downstairs drafting, and like all you could hear is them just laughing downstairs. So if we could get them all combined into one room and then just have people talking shit, it was a good time.
Yeah. So tell me about, not to change subject here, but like, tell me about your pod. Tell me about the listeners. And what are you guys trying to do here? Like, what are you guys trying to accomplish on the pod?
Jeez. So like, gosh, what, 3, maybe 4 years ago, Marcus and I, big fantasy players, love football, do flag football together, all that. Always talking football, and he was constantly on my ass about starting a podcast. And I'm like, dude, I have kid, like, 3 or 4 years ago, I only had 1 kid, maybe 2, depending on the situation. Then I started having more kids and was still in school, went and was like, you know what, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get my master's. So, like, I just kept like, I can't do it. I have too much on my plate. Can't do it. And then I graduated with my master's this last July. So I was like, man, I'm not going to know what to do with my extra free time now. Like, I have no idea. So back in April, when I knew I was going to be done in the next couple months, I was like, you know what, let's start doing this. So I guess before April, technically, we just started recording, buying equipment.
I want to say it was like after Christmas time, because we
didn't start
started
officially
in March. I want to say,
yeah, I didn't. It was like late March is when we started officially recording.
Okay.
And yeah, we just said, let's do it for fun. If we end up making money, we end up making money. If we end up getting big, whatever. Marcus jokes and says, we're big if we ever get invited onto the Alex Jones podcast. So I think that's his goal.
Yeah. Well, I think I lost you guys there, but
No, you're fine. No, it's just something we do for fun. We've kind of always talked about it, kind of BSing around, being like, we're gonna do this and stuff like that, and then we just finally decide to do it. Like, we're big. Me and Skinny have always been big fantasy guys. So like, once we're in our league, we talk. Like, there's always like me and Skinny going at it about something. So we're just like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. We decide to do it, and we've had a lot of fun with it.
Well, like, we're always guys, like our friends group that will be like, hey, can you give us fantasy advice, for this league? Like, one of my buddies, I literally sat on Discord with him and helped him do one of his drafts in another league just because he wants my help. And then I'm pretty sure every week I get messages from friends, hey, who do I play this week? What would you do? This and that. So, like, Marcus is the same way, too. Like, it's just one of those things where... Yeah, we do fantasy talk. I know it's not depending. The biggest thing is we have jobs. We can't dedicate all of this to where we can record and have it released, within a couple hours type thing. So we have to record a couple days before. Gives us time to edit, get everything uploaded. But like, if we could wait and push things off, a couple more days or whatever, and give better, more relevant advice, because in 2 days things change, injuries happen. All that. It's just really for fun. I think we're at 39 subscribers on YouTube so far. Got like 8 followers on Spotify, which we're currently had one listener. I think one listener total in Brazil. So like some Brazilian was like, "Hey, I found this podcast. I'm gonna listen to it."
Shout out Brazil.
Yeah,
exactly.
Every month we're seeing some type of progress. And we have no idea where this is going to eventually go. So, just fun, and fun time.
Just fun. Yeah. I like it. Let me ask you another question. Sorry, I didn't mean to flip the tables on.
No, you're good.
You're fine.
What do you guys do as far as gambling? Do you take the early lines, or are you guys more like, I'm going to sit back and wait and make my decision at game time?
Well, Marcus doesn't gamble.
Question.
I've been on his ass since before.
I do not.
Since before the league started, or before the season started, to download a fan. Like, I have MGM. Like, I have multiple places. Sometimes I take a break because I'm overwhelming myself. I need to slow down. But it kind of depends. Like, some weeks, I guess I do a mixture of both. If I want to do like just winners and losers or spreads, I'll throw that in on like a Wednesday or Thursday, whatever, just kind of wait it out. And then as it gets closer, probably like within the hour of a game time, I'll go, once I know like who's actually playing, I'll do like more like individual like touchdown scores or whatever else, those type of things. I guess both. I do both. I sports bet on multiple things. I do hockey. I don't even watch hockey, and I sports bet on hockey, basketball, and yeah, I keep trying to get Marcus to do it because I think he's got the mind to be a better. Like it's there. It's there. It really is. And like on the season, him and I are 34-26 on our picks so far. So I mean, you're technically.
We'd make some money.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be great, but we'd be up. So
I'm just too frugal for it.
Okay, that's the hesitation.
I think it is. I mean, like I will spend money on fantasy football. I love fantasy football, but like I look at it and I'm like, because I've been to casinos, I've done that kind of stuff. I actually met Laquan Treadwell in a casino, but not a nice guy, John. Not a nice guy at all. And he's cheap. $25 on blackjack. Not impressed. He could afford at least 50 or 100. That's all I'm saying. But No, I'm not a big bettor. I know I need to do it. I need to do it because I have a podcast. I just need to throw like $10, get my free bets, maybe make some money. But I just not that big into betting. My biggest gambling is probably fantasy football.
What do you spend? So you're in 4 leagues?
Hmm. No, I'm in 3 leagues that pay money. The last I've been in a championship game the last 3 years, and then I won my league last year. It was a weird year, so I won it, but it was like I won it because Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, the game didn't count because what happened with DeMar Hamlin, stuff like that. So it's kind of like it wasn't the best way to win, but a win's a win.
Yeah.
I probably would have lost, but I've won like in fantasy football in the last 3 years, probably over, I want to say over $1,000.
Dude, so what I would say is like you're in 3 or 4 leagues that are probably 100 to 150 per league, right?
Mm-hmm.
Open a FanDuel or a DraftKings account or whatever. Talk to Skinny on which one's the best. I don't know, but open one of those accounts and just put like $150 in there, and then that's your challenge. Make that $150 last you the whole season, right?
Yeah.
And when the season's done, you might have $1,000 in there, or you might have 30 cents in there. Like, you don't know, but that's the challenge. You only deposit once.
See, and like with
So next year,
FanDuel,
see what I can
that's why I
actually do.
keep telling you to do FanDuel. One, you only have to deposit and play $10, and you get like $50 free, right? So if you deposit $150, you already have the $50 free. So you don't even have to touch. Besides the $10 you have to spend, you don't have to touch the other $140 until that other $50 is out. Let's say you do $10 a week, like on like a part, like what we do with bad betting of some sort or whatever. You're only out $10, but once you start spending your $10, like your actual money, not the bonuses, they do, what's it called? Like you get your bet back if it doesn't hit. So you bet $10, and then it doesn't hit, you get your $10 back. You know what you do? The next week you just use that $10 again, but it's a bonus bet, and then you still have your $130. Like you can make $150 last if you bet $10 every week and did that. You would be fine. And I've been telling you this from the very get go, but no, don't want to listen to me.
I know. You know what? You heard it here, folks.
Hey, Marcus, how about
Yes.
this? I'll stake you with a DraftKings account, and I'll throw 150 or $200 in there. You play for the whole season long. Whatever you finish with, we don't deposit again, but whatever we finish with, we split it 50-50. How about that?
We may have no money though.
Well,
just throw week one $150 on the Vikings. Just
The Vikings are going to beat whoever. All right.
okay.
If you want to do that, John, we'll do it.
This is evolving. Only rules: don't bet on the Vikings. You don't bet on your team.
Okay.
No, actually, I bet the Lions quite a bit this year because they're good against the spread.
Oh, 100% they have been good against spread.
Because they never get any love.
But I feel like college is where you make the money at, though. Is really what it feels like.
I won't tell you
NFL
how to run
spreads
your
are so
business,
close.
Marcus, but hey, you take my $150 and you grow it to $2,000. Guess what? You just made $1,000. Boom.
That's right.
Kenny, what do you think about that?
shit. If somebody's giving me $150 to sports bet, I'll fucking take it any day. Plus, you get
If you want to, John, let's do it.
Oh gosh.
Do it. We're not starting till football season though, because I know that's where your knowledge zone is at.
100%. Don't ask me to do basketball. Don't ask me to do it.
I don't want you doing baseball or basketball or
Dude, at this point when it comes to sports betting, you're almost better off to give money to my wife than me. My wife hits the weirdest fucking football parlays, and I'm like, how? How does that make, like, she'll do things that I'm like, I don't think that's going to even come close to happening, and then it happens. It's like, how did it happen? I need to just start riding with.
Are you a big better, John, or no?
I enjoy it. I wouldn't, I have swings and like everybody else, but parlays are a lot of fun. But there's just the chances of hitting a parlay are
so low.
I'll do like a lot of 2-game parlays or two-ended parlay, like the point total and the over or whatever, like the Eagles -4 and the over, that kind of thing. But once you start getting in, like I have some buddies that'll do like they'll try to pick the spread on 6 or 8 different games any Sunday, and they'll put $100 on it. And it's like, yeah, if you hit that, you're gonna make $100,000, but you're never gonna hit that, Like,
yeah. But if you do, that's crazy.
My best betting has been March Madness and NBA. Like football, I've made some money, but like March Madness, gosh, it would have been like the first year that sports betting was like legal in Iowa. I placed like a $15 bet on the first round. It was like a 12-leg parlay, and
oh my god,
it was supposed to just be crazy insane. But the last leg was like the Oregon game, which got canceled due to COVID, and like my odds went from like this to like the payout was terrible compared to like what it should have been. But yeah, it was a good chunk of money, probably the best I'll ever do.
Yeah.
And then like there's times where I've been so close to like good amount of money, especially in like the NBA. I used to get like, they do like the $5-10 free bets. It's like whatever. Like I don't care. It's a free bet. I'm just gonna blow it on whatever. I do like a 16-leg parlay in the NBA for a day of like winners and losers or whatever. And the one team I learned to never bet against or with, never see again in my lineup, is the New York Knicks. There was one year I probably should have been up like $8,500, but the Knicks were the only team to screw me over in all my parlays. And after that, I've never touched the Knicks again. It's been like 3 years, and I've never touched the Knicks ever in a sports bet. Because I'm like, nope, never again. It's depressing. It's sad.
Yeah. See, I think with Marcus's football knowledge, like Marcus, you could look at like any given week, and you could look at all the point spreads, and you could probably identify 2 to 3 games, or even 1 to 2 games that you see are not handicapped right? Just based on the research you do with fantasy football, knowing who's injured, who's kind of banged up, who's maybe playing but not feeling themselves, right? So, I mean, what I would probably say is, Marcus, you just focus on like 1 or 2 games a week, and, maybe you bet a little heavier on those 1 or 2 locks that are locks for that week. And betting's just like gambling, or it is gambling, but it's about discipline, right? It's not losing one and then saying, fuck it, I'm going to go try to make that up, and I'm going to go a 4-leg parlay because I can put $25 down and win 400, That's not what it's about. It's about identifying where you think there's opportunities. That'd be my only.
It's like this week with bad betting. The Colts are plus 1.5 against the Falcons are favored to win. Who in their right mind is like, the Colts are red hot, the Falcons are changing their quarterback. 95% of people are probably like, besides Falcons fans probably, are like, the Colts are going to win this game. That's something that that's something that most people are going to feel so confident put their money on. Or at this point, anytime touchdown CMC. Sure. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, that's true. CMC has been hot this year.
Yeah.
Best fantasy draft player. I don't know. Sam Laporta has probably been my best. That's a tough one. Because like my league, I drafted CJ Stroud. I drafted Sam Laporta. I drafted CMC. Drafted Jordan Addison. Like, I've had a lot of good draft picks in that league this year.
Taking Bijan over CMC, it's a little.
You did that?
A little dicey. I did. I love Bijan Robinson. I still made it to the playoffs. My team was so hot, and then I played a team. My team just dumpster fire. Josh Allen didn't do too good last week. The Cowboys didn't. I was riding high on CD Lamb and
Calvin Ridley.
Jake Ferguson didn't do much for me. Calvin Ridley. I mean, granted, the guy that I played scored like 185 points. So it was like, regardless, I would have had to have a monster week out of my team. So it really wasn't. But I mean, I took a team that I started out 0 and what was it, 2-5, and I ended up being what 8-5, 8-5-1. So I'm not the best. I'm a decent drafter. I'm way better on the waiver wire though.
Yeah. Yep.
And trading.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I hear my daughter crying and yelling for me, so I'm sorry, I gotta keep the podcast moving. I don't know what she wants me for.
Or draw it out so you don't have to split it.
All right, so quarter 4, Marcus and I finally had what do you call it? Good weeks.
Really good weekend. Yeah, great week in pick'ems.
Great weeks in pick'ems.
We needed to come back.
We both went 12-4 in our picks this week, so that's very good. Overall, I'm currently 140 and 84. Marcus, you're currently 135 and 89. And then with our special guest, John, the record with the most correct picks for the week in pick'ems is 9. So if you can either get 9 and tie or do better, you would be the record holder in pick'ems. I guess we'll find out next week, but you also get to make a picks with us.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
All right.
Hang on, you know what? I'm going to just pull up my Pick'em app while we do this, because I got to do this shit anyways.
Okay. You let me know when you're ready.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Week 16, right?
Yep, week 16. Thursday, December 21st. Deuce McAllister and the New Orleans Saints versus Steven Jackson and the LA Rams.
I'm going Rams.
I took Saints.
Saints on the road?
On the road, I'm taking the Saints.
Okay.
I took the Rams.
What do you take, Skinny?
I took the Rams.
Alrighty. Alright. Saturday, December 23rd, 2023. The Cincinnati Bengals and Icky Williams versus Rashad Mendenhall and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Skinny, what's the spread on that game? Do you know?
I can pull it up real quick.
Not that it matters for Pick'em, but kind of like knowing.
Let's see here. Bengals are 1.5, minus 1.5.
We'll go Steelers.
Really? Interesting.
I took the Bengals.
I'm taking the hot hand. I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah.
I took the Bengals as well.
They're
both backup quarterbacks, right?
Well, the Steelers are getting their third string at Mason Rudolph. So.
Third string. Mason
I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go Bengals.
All right, 3 Bengals.
Fuck the Steelers.
Yeah.
I agree. CJ Spiller and the Buffalo Bills versus Darren Sproles and the LA Chargers.
Hey, I love the throwbacks. Is this part of the every week thing? I love that.
100%.
Yeah.
I usually do quarterbacks. I'm like, screw it, we're doing running backs. That's the throw. Right. That's throwback this year, running backs. Or this week.
I got to go Bills.
Hey, you know what I'm going to say, Marcus.
Hot, man. Give me the Bills.
Give me Buffalo!
Yep. Sunday, December 24th. So that's Christmas Eve. Edgerrin James, Hall of Famer Edgerrin James, shouldn't be though. I feel like Matthew Stafford had a better career than Edgerrin James.
You respect that name, all right?
I will never, and the Colts versus Work done in the Falcons.
Work done.
You're taking the Falcons?
No. Sorry, no.
He just
I'm
like
just
he just like
reminiscing on the name.
It's a good name. Work done was really fast.
Yeah. Florida State,
Overshadowed.
maybe? Florida State, work done?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
was
I'm
he-
going
you know-
Colts. And my boy Minshew.
Gardner Minshew, Mustache Mania. I'm taking the Colts too. The Colts are red hot.
Yeah.
I am also
Well,
too
You ever seen
taking the Colts.
Have you ever seen Minshew like off script?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's a badass. I like that dude.
dude, he is cool.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew is really cool.
Hey, he was one of the guys I put like beginning of the year I would want to like drink with because like that's just the vibes he
Yeah.
brings. Like he would be
Oh,
one of those
100%.
guys I'd want to chill and have a beer with. Well, more than one beer, clearly. But
Real quick, look at that list.
What'd you
oh
say?
Jesus,
For those of us who haven't,
it was Gardner
what's the
Minshew.
list
drink-
as of today? 3.
I drink with Gronk. 100%.
Yeah, you had
gotta put
Gronk.
in there.
Who were your three?
Who else did I have in there?
Dude, it's been so long.
I
Mine
know
was
Gronk was one of them.
Marshawn Lynch and Gardner Minshew. For I know those two off the top of my head. My third one.
Lynch would be a good one. Oh, you got to really think about a party animal though in the NFL because like a lot of them like they try to be like clean cut and stuff.
Yeah, but
So Rodgers, I feel like couldn't chug a beer. Like I saw that and I just wasn't impressed. I love Aaron Rodgers, but you know,
Josh Allen can chug a beer. Kelsey can
I'm
chug
sure
a beer.
Kelsey probably could chug a beer. Both of them, honestly. Josh Allen, Josh Allen just seems like so boring.
Coaches included. You can do a coach or a GM.
I feel like honestly, I would drink a beer with Dan Campbell. I feel like
Hell
that
yeah.
man could pound a beer.
That's what I was getting at.
I feel like he could pound a fucking beer.
Oh, yeah. When they win, you know, I watch the locker room speeches after they win and blah, blah, blah. And you know, probably 1 out of every 3, he'll go, that was a good win. I'm drinking beers tonight, boys. That was a good win. You know?
Way better than Nick Sirianni, let me tell you that. Skinny.
Oh, I would never drink a beer with him.
Yeah.
I'd never drink a beer with him.
He literally, like, I saw someone talk about he has the most punchable face in the NFL. I genuinely believe that.
Yep.
See? It's
Yep.
not just me.
I never really thought about it, but yep.
Hey.
Now that you say it, yep.
It's because he's so smug about everything.
Yeah. He and Matt Patricia.
Yeah. Fucking Matt Patricia. You can't have. I do too. Matt Patricia sucks so bad.
I'm sorry, Skinny. I hate Matt Patricia.
I'm not
Skinny
fond
does
of,
too.
I'm not fond of him either. All right.
I'm actually surprised he and Darius Slay were able to rectify because,
Well,
you know, he
found out he was going to coach, and then he's like, I'm going to go get surgery and not play for him this week. So I don't know if it's rectified 100% yet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a good point. The rumor in Detroit was he put Darius Slay's tweets up on the board and just fucking ripped into him in front of everybody.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Darius Slay was such a dog in Detroit too.
He was
That's
a
what I don't
fucking
understand.
like you don't let a once in a generation corner go, you know? Like you just don't. Unless
He
you
was
don't know
so
what
good.
the fuck you're doing.
And who'd you guys try to replace him with? He's not even on your guys' team anymore. What was his
The
name?
Falcon. Okuda. Jeff Okuda.
Well,
Yeah.
Akuda
Jeff
wasn't a
Okuda.
direct replacement, but Akuda was a number 3 overall pick and a bust, for the record.
He was.
Oh, yeah.
Bust. But no, what the hell's his name? From Penn State corner. He's not with the Giants. I think he got cut.
Penn State.
The hell's his name? I've forgotten him so bad. He had like 1 good year, and then he sucked for the rest of his career. I'll think of it. He was a 5th round pick. But yeah, they thought like, oh, we can trade away. Well, The other one they traded away was Diggs to Seattle, who was like the best safety, and he went on to
At the
Seattle.
time, yeah.
Yeah, he went on to Seattle and was like he was like a Pro Bowl safety. They traded away their best two DBs in Slay and Diggs. You know, ruined the culture.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Matt Patricia. Hate him.
He was a bad coach because I feel like it's kind of like sometimes you'll have copycat coaches that, come from a coaching tree. Like everyone wants to be Bill Belichick, but no, there's only one Bill Belichick. I feel like you can't copycat that style of like,
Right.
Do your job. And I feel like he couldn't do it.
He tried to implement the Patriot way into Detroit, and it just didn't work.
Matt Patricia.
The Patriot way only worked because they were winning Super Bowls.
Matt Patricia is to what
Patriot
to
way
the
works.
Lions
We have
as what Chip Kelly is to the Eagles. I understand.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Chip Kelly was that, honestly, because Chip Kelly was after Andy Reid, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like directly after?
Yes.
You should have kept Andy.
I know.
Andy's way more lovable. I remember Chip Kelly's like, yeah, Sam Bradford was really good in college.
yeah.
Sam Bradford, Ryan Matthews, they try to do, like, they like got rid of, like, LaShawn McCoy, bust. Can't do it anymore. He still had a couple of good years.
Pro Bowler,
Buffalo.
great deep man, Deshaun Jackson. Well, yeah, we're just going to get rid of him after a great season.
Jeremy Maclin, get out of here.
Yeah.
We're doing
Riley
Ryan
Cooper,
Matthews.
I love you. You're staying.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Who's the
Vic
coach?
liked him, though.
Who was the coach when you guys won the Super Bowl not too long ago? Was that
Peterson.
Peterson.
Doug Peterson, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good
I always liked Doug Peterson.
Yeah, me too. Didn't like that we.
He wasn't like, the thing about him is he's not douchey. He literally wasn't douchey, and like he was a backup quarterback in the league for the most of his career. Like Nick Sirianni's just so cocky, man.
I know.
So cocky.
And I don't want to ruffle feathers here, but like, should we talk about open coaching positions and who's going to fill those?
I mean, why not? We can.
We could.
I mean, who's taking the Chargers job?
Bill Belichick.
Yep.
Do you think Bill Belichick's going to take it?
Yeah.
Really? See, I think that he's on the hot seat too. I think him and actually Mike Tomlin are on the hot seat. Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. They haven't been to playoffs for a couple of years. I feel like, and I don't think they're bad coaches. I just feel like at some point coaches like Andy Reid, you kind of need a kick in the butt to really revive another franchise. Bill Belichick's like, probably the greatest coach of all time. But I
Bill
don't think
Belichick without Tom Brady ain't shit. We've seen that, right?
You think it's more Brady than Bill?
I think the Patriot way was more Brady.
I think it's because Brady would do anything to win.
And Brady was like a coach on the field. He had those players ready to play. They listened to him. They respected him. Once that's gone, like Cam Newton can't do the same thing, right?
No. Mac Jones. Yeah.
Mac Jones can't do that.
Mac Jones is low-key a dirty player, too. Like, Mac Jones does stuff that, like, he twists ankles and, like, goes for crotch shots and just a whole bunch of stuff that I'm like, Mac Jones.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get on a whole side
No,
track.
you're okay. We
Can
love
you
this.
do it? Yeah, sorry.
So second game of on the 24th of December is Sean Alexander in the Seattle Seahawks versus Earl Campbell in the Tennessee Titans.
I'm
What do you
going
guys
Titans
see?
here.
I took Titans too. I'm taking a gamble.
I think Drew Lock got lucky. We'll see if what's his fuck's the Colts or who the fuck's the Seahawks
What is his name?
Who?
Seahawks
Now
quarterback.
you're Geno Smith. They
Geno
didn't
Smith.
write- They didn't
We'll
write
see.
me back though.
We'll see if he gets back, but if it's Drew Lock, he got lucky once. He ain't gonna get lucky twice.
I agree.
What
do you have, Skinny?
I also took Tennessee at home. Like, Will Levis is actually playing like pretty decent ball, I'd say. Their defense has definitely turned around, and I honestly like Drew Lock at quarterback more than Geno this year. Like, Geno hasn't been playing well. Drew, like, it's that backup quarterback mentality. The team rallies behind him, those type of things. If Geno plays, whatever. But I'm gonna take Will Levis.
Where did Drew Lock go to college at?
Good question.
Was it Mizzou?
SEC for sure.
Because I remember the Drew Lock backpack thing where he's like,
it was
and he
Mizzou.
throws a pick. God, it was so good. I didn't remember if it was Mizzou or not, but
It was.
Drew Lock is like, he's kind of fun to watch because he's not that good, but he kind of is like the journeyman, like Case Keenum feel to him, where he's like been in the league for a while now, and he still can throw. Like, he's talented.
He's a good backup.
He is. I mean, no, I wouldn't say he's a starter either. But I wasn't that convinced about Geno. Geno struggled this year a lot. But anyway, Kevin Jones. You remember Kevin Jones?
Of course.
And the Detroit Lions versus Chester Taylor and the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm surprised you didn't go Barry versus AP.
Well, you can't go the best like that. Like, Barry's obviously the best of all time, and AP is the best of all time for Minnesota. Okay, I got a question for you. I know it's off topic again, Skinny. I'm sorry, but
Skinny's got kids. He's like, get the fuck through this.
She stopped crying.
it's
so
6:21.
She stopped crying. It's fine.
She's probably asleep. You cry yourself to sleep,
Yeah, probably at this point.
after a while. Pound for pound, who do you think was more talented, Barry Sanders or AP?
It's a good question. Well, Barry never got hurt.
That's true.
AP had a couple injuries.
He did. Andy got in a little bit of trouble too.
Yeah. Fuck.
Stats say Barry. Stats say Barry. Honestly,
Barry walked away with 3 or 4 more years still to play.
Oh, 1,000%. 10 years into it, I guarantee you, if Barry stayed, he'd be the all-time leading rusher of all time.
And Adrian Peterson tried to drag it out for 6 more years when he was clearly not fit to play. Lions.
Oh, he did.
Lions for one of those years, like.
Here's the question, though. I feel like Adrian Peterson would have been better than Alexander Madison this year. He's laughing. He knows it's kind of true.
Hey,
At least he can tell.
You also have to consider different eras.
True, true.
It was Barry and Emmitt Smith that were head and head, and that was a running league back then. It was
what
a passing.
Thurman Thomas.
It's true.
He wasn't as good. He was in the conversation.
Right. I'm going to go Barry all day. I mean,
Barry's really dominant.
I mean, Barry could just break your ankles. He would break your ankles.
Barry wouldn't have a 90-yard.
Peterson had more.
Barry wouldn't have a 90-yard run in a game and then finish with total of 98 yards.
Well, dude, he was on the what were the Commanders at that point? I don't think they were the Redskins still, but come on, man, give Adrian a break. He was like 30 years old, 32 years old then. He was slow. He couldn't do it.
And part of my decision is Barry walked away in his prime. Adrian Peterson played 6 years past his prime. Adrian
Peterson would still play if he could. You know what disappointed me more than anything about Adrian Peterson?
The Bills. Bills.
I know. When Adrian Peterson boxed Le'Veon Bell, I thought for sure he was going to beat his ass. Like, I would have bet my house on that. I was so disappointed when Le'Veon Bell came in and beat him. I was like, are you kidding me, Adrian? Like, I would have bet everything on it. I was like, it's Adrian Peterson. That's like a generational talent. and he just got smoked by Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah,
It's
I
terrible.
remember.
He wasn't.
I'm taking the
He wasn't
Lions.
into it.
Fuck the Vikings. Taking the Lions.
I'm taking the Vikings. Taking the Vikings.
Lions.
I'm
5
going-
million.
I'm taking the Vikings. It's probably going to be the Lions, but you can't bet
Nick
against
Mullins
Vikings,
is trash.
especially this week. Priest Holmes, well,
Okay.
yes,
Go ahead. Priest Holmes and who?
and the Washington Commanders versus Sean Green and the New York Jets.
I'm going to go Jets just because I don't have any faith in the Commanders. I don't have much faith in the Jets either, but
I'm taking the Jets too. I feel like this is a game that they could control. That I feel like they could run against the Giants, especially since they could run against the Commanders since they got rid of some key pieces on defense. And I also feel like Washington, I like what they're doing on offense, but I just don't feel like they'll be able to beat up on the Jets that well.
I'm taking the Jets. Their defense has just been phenomenal, and good luck, Commanders. Like, good luck. Have fun.
Jets at home.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think the Jets
Somebody's
will take
bound
it.
to get hurt at MetLife. I mean, I hate to say injuries.
Oh, 100%.
But, playing at MetLife Stadium is scary, and somebody's bound to get hurt. So,
Rip Rogers. Cheeseburger Eddie Lacy and the Green Bay Packers versus Jonathan Stewart and the Carolina Panthers.
I mean, I hate to do this, but I'm going Packers.
got my cheese on my
took the
head.
Packers,
But don't
too.
call me a cheesehead. Bruce Lee's on my head, so don't call me a Lee head. I'm going Packers.
I'm taking the Packers too. Carolina's been terrible. The fact that I beat the Falcons is embarrassing for the Falcons.
Very.
Embarrassing.
Isaiah Corral. This one, it's hard to find a, middle of the pack Cleveland Brown running back, but I feel like this is the best I could do. And then versus Arian Foster, which he's not. He's probably the best running back in Houston's,
The disrespect.
franchise history. Who would be better? Who would be better, Skinny?
Some random ass dude that played for him, not their best running back for the franchise. You could have said Dameon Pierce, and I'd been like, hey, that's I know he's relevant, but that's a subpar running back for you right there.
You know what? Arian Foster said he could kill a wolf with his bare hand.
He could. Who knows?
Arian Foster was the man for 2 or 3 seasons.
He was. He was really good, and then he just wasn't.
And then he got hurt. I'm going to go Texans here.
I'm taking Texans as well.
I went the Browns. C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins are still questionable, and Joe Flacco's playing very well for Joe Flacco, so I'm going to go Browns.
I might start Joe Flacco on fantasy this week.
I started
don't
him
know.
last week. I had to.
Mhm. Maurice Jones-Drew in the Jacksonville Jaguars versus LeGarrette Blount in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And LeGarrette Blount had a hell of a right hook. I'm just saying.
I know you're not trying to pick all-stars here, but MJD was the only Jaguars really?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You gotta. Maybe it's not all stars. I'm going for players that you haven't heard about in a long time.
MJD was one of the best. He was great.
LeGarrette Blount
He
has
was very
3
good.
Super Bowl rings, and you're saying
He does. Honestly, when he went to Detroit, I thought he was going to win a Super Bowl. I was like, dude, it is just fate. Detroit's going to win their first Super Bowl. LeGarrette Blount He wants to run, dude. He was so good at the goal line.
Yeah.
People talk about the tush push. Like Garrett Blunt was a for sure like within the 5-yard touchdown.
I loved
legitimately
Luke
believe
Garrett
that.
Blunt in Oregon, and I loved him in the NFL. I loved when he was an Eagle.
Mhm.
I loved seeing him get a ring with the Eagles. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm taking the Bucks, dude. Baker Mayfield is legitimately like I would say right now, Baker Mayfield. I know we talked about this earlier, Skinny, and you're going to hate this. Baker Mayfield at the quarterback position. If you take away, the running of Jalen Hurts, I think Baker Mayfield is playing better than Jalen Hurts at quarterback. He just can't run the same.
Different impacts.
Well, the question in this game is Trevor Lawrence playing? Is he healthy?
He's concussion
He's
protocol.
in concussion protocol, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say he does, but I don't care. That defense is good, but Trevor Lawrence doesn't know how to throw to Calvin Ridley, so fuck him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bucks.
Let's see what I got next. I got Marion Barber in the Dallas Cowboys versus Ronnie Brown and whoops, I skipped one. Tim Hightower in the Arizona Cardinals versus Anthony Thomas in the Chicago Bears.
The A train. Chicago in the winter. Tough to win there.
I'm taking Chicago as well.
Duh, Bears.
Bears.
Duh, Bears.
Hey, sidebar in case you guys are interested. I was at Shields today shopping for Christmas presents for like nieces and nephews and stuff. And there is a plethora. And when I say plethora, I mean like 30 or 40 Justin Fields jerseys on the sale rack. They're all on sale.
Shields,
they are not confident he's going to be there.
Yeah, does Shields know something we don't know?
The official like Bears game day jersey on the sale rack, all of them number one, Justin Fields, for like $89. And those are like $250 jerseys. Just saying.
That's crazy.
Man,
I feel like Justin Fields is going to be a Bear next year.
I
feel like he's good, though. I actually think he's like kind of decent. I mean, you should hate him because he always plays he always plays Detroit really well.
No, I hate him for his like he walks to the sideline. He doesn't run. He's got all these like facial expressions, like
the attitude.
Like that's not a franchise quarterback. Like I hate him for those reasons, Not for what he has torn us up because we can't handle mobile quarterbacks. But I hate him because of his antics. And he's not that good.
I think
he has a special place in my heart because I won a championship with him. Him and Brady. Brady's last year. I did not start Brady because Fields was going. But yeah, would you rather have him or what's the quarterback from USC, Skinny? I can't think of his name right now.
Caleb Williams.
I'd rather have Fields. I'm not gonna lie. Caleb Williams looks to me like
I think he stays a Bear.
Cancer.
I think the Bears trade back the number one pick because when you look at the draft talent that's coming in, there's a bunch of like offensive linemen projected to go in like the top 15. You trade back a number one pick, they literally think about all the stuff that you're going to get for a number one pick. Even if you go back to pick number like let's say 6, you could get another solid wide receiver, defensive player, whatever they want to go after in the trade package. Somebody's going to be willing to trade up to get a top quarterback, even Caleb Williams with all of his hype. You trade that number one pick back away, draft a lineman with your other pick in the first whatever, top 5, top whatever they are, and then use whatever else to build around Justin Fields. I think they need a line and they need defense. Get him a true second weapon. I think he's fine. Trade back. Just trade back. That's That's all they got to do. Trade that Carolina pick. Keep him. No reason to draft another quarterback.
There's something about knowing what you have, right? Like, anybody you draft is going to be a question mark.
Yep.
1,000%, right? And they know what they have in Fields, at least, right? So,
I think talent-wise, I think he's talented enough to be a starter in the NFL. Attitude, I agree. I like that. But it'll be interesting to see what the Bears do because they have a lot of options this year, at least.
Yeah.
And they could trade Fields. I feel like he still has value, too.
Bears are going to be really freaking good. They're going to be much, much better next year. And in 2 years, the Bears are going to be really freaking good.
I could see it. Marion Barber and the Dallas Cowboys versus Ronnie Brown and the Miami Dolphins.
Give me a good game.
It will be a good game.
I'll go Cowboys.
I'm going Cowboys too because 2 weeks in a row they're not going to get embarrassed. I know that they don't do well against winning records, but I think the Dolphins are really beatable. Skinny, I know you're going to take the Dolphins, but you're biased.
I took the
You're
Cowboys.
an Eagles fan, so it doesn't matter.
I actually took the Cowboys.
Yeah, really, we them boys.
I don't like.
So
Tua.
Miami's going to come back.
I don't like Tua against that defense.
Next is Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. It's been a long time. I hope you like that name.
I love it.
And the New England Patriots versus C.J. Anderson and the Denver Broncos. He played. What are you going to question? Ben Jarvis Green Ellis started for the Patriots. I know you're trying to question. Look it up. Look it up right now.
No,
look it up right now.
I'm questioning the C.J. Anderson thing. I feel like he was just in the league like 2 years ago. 3 years ago?
C.J. Anderson was the starting running back, I believe, when the Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I'm saying
I could be wrong.
He was relevant in the last couple, like within the, because he played for the Rams the last time, right? He was a Ram. Within the last 3 years, you're out here pulling out dudes that have played within the last 3 years. Terrible.
How long has it been since Todd Gurley's been relevant? 2018, 2019? It was before COVID.
Yeah, you could use Todd Gurley.
Well, Todd Gurley never played for the Denver Broncos. That'd be silly.
I'm taking the Broncos at home.
I'm taking the Broncos, too. I'm not betting on the Patriots this year.
Yeah, I'm going Broncos, too, and they're going to be pissed about that ass kicking they took at the hands of the Detroit Lions. They're going to win.
It's pretty bad. I agree. Denver's going to come out. So 3 games on Christmas, I guess, because you need 3 games on Christmas. So Monday, December 25th, 2023. Darren McFadden, he has an injury, so don't worry, he won't be playing Monday. And the Las Vegas Raiders versus Christian Okoye and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Pre-Stones, you couldn't go. Oh, you're not doing stars.
Not stars. Christian Okoye was kind of a star-ish.
What about Larry? Was it Larry Jackson?
Larry Johnson?
Larry Johnson.
Yep, I could have gone him. I feel like Okoye was just like he kind of cool like it is a cool name, and I feel like kind of overrated. Like he was good, but he was just really big.
Yeah,
very big, and like he got what was it? Waters? What's his name? What's his first name? From the Broncos lit him up. I can't think of his name. But I don't know. He was kind of like I feel like Christian Okoye was kind of one of those players that was like in and out of the league pretty quick, and he was like really big, and like people were like, oh, you can't tackle him, and then someone just lit him up, and It was Ricky Waters. I can't think of his first name from the Broncos, but they let him up, and he was kind of just out of there.
Give me
I'm
the
going
Chiefs.
Chiefs here.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Travis Kelce can become Patty Mahomes' number one target because I do have him in a league that I need to win.
Nope.
So.
It's going to be Kadarius Toney. They're going to feed him the ball.
No, it's not.
Kadarius Toney.
15 targets, 2 catches,
line up on
6 drops.
6 drops for sure. 6 drops for sure. Brandon Jacobs. I thought about Amon Bradshaw. You remember him?
Yeah.
I did think about him, but I was like, Brandon Jacobs, he thought he could play defensive end in the league. Didn't obviously happen, but I like Brandon Jacobs. That's a huge dude.
But you could have gone Tiki Barber.
The disrespect.
Tiki was. I feel like Tiki's the best. Tiki's the best Giants running back of all time, though. Tiki was good. I mean, Brandon Jacobs, I think, also won a Super Bowl with them, but Tiki was like a big reason why they won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Back in 2008.
Matt Breida.
Versus Brian Westbrook. Might be all-time guy right there, isn't it?
Why are you using him? Him and LaShawn McCoy?
Well, because... Yeah, but, I just... Can't a man just throw a couple people in?
Not like Jay Ajayi?
Can I just
somebody that hasn't been relevant since 2017?
Ooh, Jay Ajayi. But, I feel like when I think about Jay Ajayi, it's a Dolphin.
Westbrook?
Yeah. Who else before that, though? Since we've been, watching football, it's been Westbrook.
LaShawn McCoy.
Then LaShawn McCoy. And then after that, it's been,
yeah,
DeAndre Swift, who...
Yeah. Lions cast. DeAndre Swift?
Exactly. I don't know why that didn't work out, but it didn't. Swift is way better than... Or Swift is not as good as... Oh, God, why can't I think of it? Gibbs. Gibbs is better than Swift, is what I'm trying to say.
Gibbs was an upgrade over Swift, and cheaper.
Better pass catcher, cheaper, yeah exactly.
More elusive,
The thing that ruined Swift was his injuries.
More durable.
Yeah, the injuries is what really kind of...
I think Detroit would have kept Swift around if he could stay healthy.
Yeah.
He couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah. And this year he's been healthy, so I'll take it, I guess. I'm taking the Eagles. I'm gonna take the Eagles every week, so
Eagles.
I'm gonna take the Eagles as well.
Unless DeVito goes off again, which I don't think will happen, but
I don't know if he's going to play. I think he's out.
Is he out?
Yeah, he got hurt. I think it might be Tyrod Taylor. Again.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, though.
Even better.
It's kind of... Oh, for you, yeah. DeVito is actually kind of legit. If he stays healthy the rest of this year, I mean, you can't get rid of Danny Jones or Danny Dimes at this point, but DeVito kind of is better.
You got a controversy there in camp next year, though.
You do.
Do we play the guy that actually is going to win us games, or do we play the guy that we owe $40 million a year to? I don't know what we're going to do.
True. So, I said LeGarrette Blount had a hell of a right hand. I think Ray Rice takes the cake. And I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens and Ray Rice versus Ricky Waters in the San Francisco 49ers.
Wait, Ray Rice has a right hand because he smacked his girl around? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he has a hell of a right hand.
Only against women, though. It's only good against women.
Yeah.
Yeah. LeGarrette Blount, was it who did he punch in the face? I remember he punched some white dude in the face. LeGarrette Blount did. I know Ray Rice has a hell of a right. Yeah,
I couldn't tell you.
He clocked the dude.
Dude, the dude was at Oregon when I was fucking 9 years old. I couldn't tell you at this point.
Well, get older. Get older.
Oh yeah.
What's the question? Because I'm older.
LeGarrette Blunt, who did he clock in the face? What team? Was it
Oh,
Ohio State? I can't
I
remember who
remember
it was.
it. It was in a big game, right? Like,
It was a big game. Yeah, he knocked his ass out, too.
yeah, I don't know. It hurt his draft stock the next because he was, it was his last year at Oregon. He was coming out in the draft, and it hurt his draft stock. Who the hell was that?
God, he clocked him, dude.
Good memory. I don't know.
I can't remember what team it was, but Ray Rice really messed up his wife.
Yeah.
But I'm taking San Francisco 49ers.
Niners.
Oh, I'm also taking the Niners. It was Boise State. Byron Hout.
Boise State.
Yeah, Boise State.
Brian Howe.
I'm also
nobody-
Not as famous as.
I wanted to take the Ravens just because fuck the 49ers, but I got to take the 49ers.
Yeah.
In San Fran.
They're the team to beat. There's literally right now they're the team to beat. It's unfair. Like there's not a single team right now that I'm like,
Yeah. The Niners got to be the most. Niners got to be the most complete team in the NFL right now.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. CMC MVP.
CMC should be the MVP. Because the quarterbacks have sucked this year, and Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. I'm sorry to say it, but he is.
If Brock Purdy didn't go to Iowa State, would you feel differently?
No. I feel like Brock Purdy's production in the NFL, like, I feel like Sam Darnold would be very productive in that offense. Sam Darnold's talented too, but I just feel like that offense, like, I think what convinced me is Jimmy Garoppolo playing for the Raiders, which I don't think is that bad of an offense to play against or play under. And I feel like how he played compared to how Brock Purdy has played for the 49ers. I just feel like, I don't know. I'm not convinced that Brock Purdy yet. He could be the next Brady. Who knows? But I don't know if I'm convinced yet.
I was like the only one big on Brock Purdy coming out of college, so
You were.
me.
You did say that Brock Purdy was legit, so I don't know.
We'll see how.
You know, all I got to say, John, is the Lions fleeced the Rams for Matthew Stafford.
Well, had they not won the Super Bowl, I would say yeah. But that was a play to win the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl, you know?
They paid to win that Super Bowl, though. All the
They did.
defensive players that they paid for on that defense, like they didn't have a first round pick in Sean McVay's, like, I don't know how many years.
They
he's
probably
reconnecting.
could have won that Super Bowl with Jared Goff, in my opinion.
I think so too.
He took them there one time. You probably have a better team at that point. Like, if they kept Jared Goff, they probably still could have won the Super Bowl.
And
I
that's
think
why Brad Holmes, our GM, was like, shit, you're telling me you're going to give me 2 first-round picks and a stable NFL quarterback? Yeah, I'll take that all day long. Actually, they had I heard recently, as recently as this week, they had the same offer from San Francisco. Only instead of Goff, it was Garoppolo. And they went with LA because they thought
Goff was better than Garoppolo.
Goff was a better quarterback than Jimmy G. That's it.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd 1,000% agree with that.
What has Jimmy G really done?
He has. I mean, he's played under Bill Belichick, who at that time they were humming. You know, once Brady got all the Deflategate stuff going on. I was that was a solid Patriots team, and they played under the Niners, which I think Kyle Shanahan is honestly probably the best coach in the NFL right now, at least offensive minded wise. So
Right.
I feel like they haven't had to really like, I don't know.
Jimmy G's
I
best
feel like any quarterback that goes under that.
are beating the Cowboys in the playoffs. That's it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, well, Jimmy G just isn't that impressive.
No, he's not. And I told you.
Goff's been to a Super Bowl,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yeah. He lost an ugly Super Bowl to the Patriots, though, unfortunately.
He did. But there's games along the way,
Mhm.
you know, that give you experience. I mean, there's no question. It was a win-win. Like, most trades are not a win-win. This was a win-win. We'll see what happens when the Lions start to make this playoff run. But, you know, one scenario is LA Rams back in Detroit in the wild card round. And that'd be Stafford versus Goff. I mean, can you imagine the storylines there?
That'd be kind of cool. The Rams
It would be,
legitimately might make it, too.
yeah. DeVito?
Yeah, the NFL is going to make it happen with money. They're like, we're going to have some big ass wild card story of Stafford versus the lot, redemption games or whatever, and make a bunch of money off of it.
Can you
taking the
imagine
Lions,
like,
though.
the pregame and the sideline reporting on that fucking shit? It'd be like, in Matt Stafford's return to Detroit, can Jared Goff and the Lions hold him? Like, it would be this like drawn out drama series.
Has he not played Detroit yet?
No.
Really, that would be a very cool game. But the thing is about the Lions now compared to when Stafford was there, it's literally a completely different team.
Completely different team.
You don't have, once I think about the line, I feel like Matthew Stafford got his stride once like Golden Tate was there, and I feel like Matthew Stafford after Calvin Johnson kind of legitimized himself as at least a top 15 quarterback, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there was bad there was bad GMs. There was bad coaching. I think I'd be curious to see what Stafford would do with this coaching staff that the Lions has now. But regardless, there's no two ways about it. Lions after Stafford are a much better run, like better offense, better defense. From the top down, it's a better organization since Stafford left, and a lot of that is because of the Stafford trade. So, Detroit fans love Stafford. We cheered for him to win that Super Bowl in 21. But he comes back into Detroit, we're gonna want to beat his ass.
Oh, 1,000%. I think if Jared Goff, if you can keep him in domes, he's a top 10 quarterback. Once you get him outside in the cold weather, it's legit. Like, he cannot play cold weather games.
It's like
kind of
Drew Brees.
crazy.
It's exactly like Drew Brees.
He wears two gloves. How do you fucking throw a football with a glove on?
Teddy did it. Not very well, but he did it.
Didn't do it very well.
Hey, Kurt Warner did it, though. Kurt Warner rocked those two gloves, and he did not win a Super Bowl with those two gloves, but he got to the Super Bowl.
I mean, we got even our backup, Teddy, two gloves. Teddy Bridgewater wears two gloves.
I forgot you guys have Teddy Bridgewater. God, I hate that.
He's retiring after this year. Do you know that?
He said that?
Yeah, he came out and there was a whole report this week.
I did not see that. That breaks my heart, John, because that was like the first quarterback in Minnesota, that Minnesota drafted, that I was like, this guy's legitimately, because he was cool. He was very chill. Like, he was very good at the position. He was a good I mean, he was a game manager, but I felt like the year that he just destroyed his knee, I felt like Teddy was like on the path to be a very good quarterback.
Well, he kind of got the raw end of the stick because when his injury happened, his contract was up, and so they're like, "We're done with you," you know. But he was a legit QB1 when they drafted him, right?
I think so. Yeah, he was tough as shit in Louisville. I thought that he was going to be a decent quarterback that we could win games with, but I don't know. It was rough.
Well, where he earned his stripes was when he went to New Orleans, and Drew Brees went down, and he won 5 games to keep him in the playoff hunt, and then Brees came back, and I don't know if that was the Super Bowl year for New Orleans or not, but he kept him afloat, and so Dan Campbell was on that coaching staff when that happened, and so he's got mad respect for Teddy Two Gloves, you know.
So that's why I like that you guys drafted Hendon Hooker, because he reminds me of Teddy. I wanted the Vikings to get him.
We got him in the 4th round.
I know you guys did, and I wanted the Vikings to draft him at some point.
Dude should have been a 2nd round.
He was
I think so.
He was the Heisman leader when he went down in like week 6 or 7 or whatever he went down in. And that's kind of the MO of the Lions organization. Like, we're willing to take chances on guys who've had a major injury, and like we'll pay bargain dollar for them, and just hope that they rebound. And it's worked out pretty well, with the exception of a couple guys, but it's worked out pretty well.
Dan Campbell has done a great job for that organization. So
yeah.
It would be cool to see the Lions win a Super Bowl. I mean, I want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before the Lions, obviously, but if the Lions were going to win one, it'd be kind of cool to see it, because you just got to – it's one of those franchises like the Browns, like even though you don't have to love the Browns, you got to kind of root for them at some point.
Right.
They've been bad for so long. It's like, hey, you're doing it. You're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, nobody understands the plight of a Lions fan. Like, it's, unless you're in it. It's been a rough 40 years, let's say. 40 plus years. So
yeah.
Well, I'm glad I don't got to deal with that, because I got a Super Bowl. But, John, thanks for joining us on the pod. It was a blast to have you. Everybody go follow us.
Subscribe.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram or Insta, YouTube, Spotify. What is it? Amazon Music. Gosh, there's a long list. Oh, X, not Twitter. X, because I always say Twitter. And yeah, Marcus, you got it.
Well, where can we find you on YouTube and Twitter and X? What are your handles?
Oh, it's like at Two Drunk Guys Pod.
Two Drunk Guys and a Football Podcast on
YouTube. At Two Drunk Guys Pod on Twitter, on X and Insta. I think you have to type in Two Drunk Guys and a Football Podcast on Amazon Music too. I think it's like the full thing. I hate when they do the full thing.
We got a Facebook.
Well, I have a Facebook group. You have to
Facebook.
You have to be like invited or whatever to it. But yeah, we're out there on.
I think John's in there though.
He could be. I have no idea. I haven't.
It was a blast.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Like and subscribe.
I cheers you, but I'm all out of beer. So six beers down the hatch. That's it.
John's about to crush the record from 6 to 7 beers. Go ahead, John.
And I'm not doing it easy. I'm doing a 16-ouncer from Fire Trucker. It's an IPA.
Oof.
So, like, I think since I've been drinking higher gravity beers, like, I deserve more than 7 beers, actually.
We'll give you 7.5.
Oh, that's not good.
Marcus, do you just want to do the gifts right now since we're recording?
Yeah, we can.
All right, fuck it. I gotta grab mine. Hold on.
John, you kill that beer, but we gotta open gifts that Santa Claus gave us.
Okay. I'll just keep drinking my beer.
Marcus,
Okay.
do you have yours?
Yeah, I have them right
Oh,
here.
so like Santa and I have something in common. We come early, and Santa delivered us some gifts. Shout out to my wife. Do the skinny one first.
Okay.
All right. We have no idea what this is.
I love that Santa said Marcus the Hammer Mary. Or just Marcus the Hammer.
These are from your wife to you too.
No,
These are from Santa
We don't
Claus. Santa Claus.
they say from Santa.
Santa brought us gifts.
Possibly from Skinny's dad, but we don't know.
Yeah. He said it was Santa Claus, and we all believe in Santa still, so
We do.
Ugh.
I hope it's a Raiders something.
A Mike Vick poster canvas.
Got you a Mike Vick and Adrian Peterson canvas.
Damn, Santa Claus is dude, Santa's getting me better gifts than he gets my children.
Santa's
See,
on
Santa-
point.
Santa knows that Adrian Peterson. Look at that, the flames, the AP. That's crazy. That's
Adrian
pretty cool.
Peterson's arms were just fucking jacked. I remember that about
Look
him.
at that. That is a man's man. That's pretty cool.
This one has Michael Vick throwing the ball in the background. There's no flames, but it's him doing that. All right.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing though. Michael
Wait,
Vick wasn't
is there a
that fast,
dog? Is there a dog on that one?
Hey, we don't talk about
It
the
should
dogs. All right. All right, what's the next
All
one?
right, should we do the next one?
Yeah.
What did Santa get us for the next one?
How are you opening up these boxes? I'm actually impressed.
Did I open them up that quick?
How did you open them up?
Well, the Kraken is just
Oh, I
multi-tool.
I got a knife at my desk at all times.
Do you? His EDC is a knife.
Oh my
That's all he
goodness.
does. I haven't looked at it. It says toys. It says Minnesota Vikings toys. So God only knows what he got.
Bro, they're little people. I got a cheerleader and a fan and Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown.
Oh, you got actual players?
Yeah, look
See,
at
I
yours.
don't know who I got.
Look at your numbers.
They're all zeros.
No, look at the middle.
Obviously,
There's zeros.
it's double zero. Here's the thing.
What?
Minnesota obviously does not have a player good enough to give a number.
Nobody was like, hey, let's put JJ's number on there. Yeah, I got AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. And look, he's even got his little, goatee going on.
When this was made, obviously we're in a transition period where JJ obviously wasn't good enough.
Oh, dude, did you look
So
at the
double
back?
zeros. What's the back say?
We're doing
Defend the North.
we're doing the Lambeau leap in Philly.
Really?
Defend the
So we're
North with double zeros.
Hey, you're damn right. That's pretty cool. I do enjoy the little Vikings guy right there with the hair.
Yeah, this one.
That's
this
pretty
one's
cool.
he's got wings and a face mask.
He's got wings and a face mask.
Yeah, Santa came in clutch this year.
Did you watch that video I sent you of the guy crying? The Fly Eagles Fly after you guys lost
Yeah.
to the Cowboys.
Yes. I don't want to talk about it. All right.
Well, thank you, Santa. Also, maybe Mark, whoever got this. But
Yeah, is my dad
pretty
Santa
cool.
Claus? I don't know. My dad might be Santa Claus.
Your dad probably is Santa Claus.
So if anybody's
AP.
if anybody's questioning it, Santa Claus would not be white then, guys. He would be Hispanic. So we've all been wrong.
He is Hispanic.
Not black, not white. He's been Hispanic the whole time.
100%, and Venezuelan. People don't know that, but he's Venezuelan.
Venezuelan. Oh yeah, yeah. Did you finish that beer yet?
Well, do you want me to?
Oh, you're good now.
Skinny, you got another beer?
No, not near me.
Skinny.
I got 32 ounces of water.
John, I really don't want to do 9 beers, but I feel like I almost have to.
Well, so that's like a half a beer of IPA. So
And he was a 16 ouncer, so like technically he
and
drank
it was a
like
16 ouncer.
He
so that
technically-
technically I'm already there.
Oh, are we cheersing again one more time?
Just wait, just wait, just wait.
Why do you got to put it in a cup? Just drink it out of the can. Look at all
No,
that
because I
foam.
don't-
Oh my goodness.
Don't worry about the foam. You just
Nose
gotta,
grease, Marcus. Nose grease.
Anybody? Yeah.
You're right,
anybody?
you're right, the nose-
Anybody listen to this on Spotify? Marcus has the worst pour I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
You know what?
Bad pour.
Cheers.
Is that the record?
That's the record, John.
Yeah, you
7
now
beers.
have the record. We'll give you
John, you have the record.
We'll give you 8 beers because, well, let's see here. You drank 7. Were they all 16 ounces?
2 of them were 16 ounces.
So that's
So
8.
like
So it'd be
7
like-
and a half.
Yeah, we'll go 8. We'll go 8 beers. 8 beers. We'll count it because if you go,
I mean,
based on-
I like to set the bar high.
yeah,
You did.
8
You
beers.
really did. And honestly, you could beat the record for the most pick'ems, right? As well.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I've been in my pick'em league. I'm money in the beginning of the year, but I suck towards the end of the year. I don't know why.
There's a couple weeks that like I only got 3 right. Well, at least one of them where I was like, ugh.
BetMGM had like a weekly pick'em. You just did one matchup, and I got to week like 13, and then I lost. It's terrible.
What'd you pick for your pick'ems? You probably pick Eagles every week.
Well, no, because you only could do a team. You only could use a team once. That was the catch.
Oh,
so once you
yeah.
use a team, so it was like a survival. I made it
Yeah.
to like week like 12 or 13. What team was it? The Browns maybe that messed me up. I think it was the Browns because that week they were playing like T.J. Walker or the rookie. They played the rookie and he won. So who did they beat? Was it the 49ers?
Darian Thompson Robinson?
Yeah, the week that he won. Maybe it was.
It might have been the Niners.
I think it was the Niners.
It might have been
no,
the
PJ
Niners.
Walker beat the Niners. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever week he won, I picked the other team to win because I was like, "There's no way he's going to win," and they won. So I was sad. I was doing so good.
What would you have won if you won it all?
I think it was like for $100,000.
Shit.
That'd have been nice.
Yeah, I get so close, but so far away.